Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
We are live.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Chef Goldblum.
He's you gonna watch that show he's in?
I don't think so.
Um,
You'll have to refresh my memory.
It's on
But
Apple TV. It's like a modern day take on, I want to say, Greek gods or
I think I saw a trailer. I'm not too interested in it, but
Jeff Goldblum is the only thing I would pique my interest, but not enough to watch the show. But I think I heard
if it gets
Hugh
good,
Grant was supposed to be in the lead, and he dropped out for scheduling issues, and they were like, Jeff Goldblum, get him in here. So,
if it gets reviewed well, maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
don't know if
not
the reviews
that
are good or not.
interested.
Me neither. Not really my cup of tea, but I do like him. All right. We're good. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, episode 939, the Bellibolt Podcast. Mom Brain, will you tell us about Bellibolt, please?
I sure
Show
will.
us.
Oh, please.
Sorry.
You know I don't like touching.
You've known me for
And that's
decades.
not a joke.
It was an accidental touching.
Tensivision says, "Whoa, what's with this camera angle? Is it weird?"
Whoa.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna. Nicky Hill's is stuck in traffic. When he gets here, we'll move the camera and fix
Sorry, I
it.
just wanted to make sure it wasn't something that you
It's a Dutch
didn't
angle.
intend.
It's a Dutch oven angle.
With this podcast, it's definitely Dutch oven.
Wait.
Yeah, we'll adjust the camera. I promise.
Okay. Bellibolt. When this Pokemon expands and contracts its wobbly body, the belly button dynamo in its stomach produces a huge amount of electricity. In case anyone was not aware of this, Raw Meat has a massive aversion to belly buttons. Well, his specifically being touched. It's not really.
I don't like seeing
okay.
other people's touched, but yeah, I don't touch mine. Not that ever really
It's
comes
not
up. There
like
were
that fear of holes or whatever.
no, whatever that's called. No, and there were a few years there where everybody decided it was really funny to go for my belly button because that's the kind of people I surround myself. with.
If I'm not mistaken, you don't like your breasts being grabbed as well. Is that true? Is that
well,
still
I
true?
have very, very sensitive nipples. Very sensitive nipples. So
Because that's what I remember going for because I thought it was funny, and now I realize I was probably assaulting you, and I apologize.
it's okay. It's okay. If it's a friend, it's not assault, right? That's the rule.
Yeah, if you don't say no, it's okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's how the world works.
Oh boy. All right, they're 3 feet tall, almost 4 feet actually. They're just under 250 pounds. They could be male or female, and the category is Elefrog. Abilities include static, where the Pokemon is charged with static electricity and
Go.
may
They don't know what
paralyze.
you're doing.
Okay. May paralyze attackers that make direct contact with it. And then there's Electromorphosis. The Pokemon becomes
Electromorphosis.
beautiful. The Pokemon becomes charged when it takes damage, boosting the power of the next electric type move the Pokemon uses. This, my friends,
Electric shock.
is the end of the Pokemon section for this week.
Mom Brain, what changed in the Pokemon section this week?
2 abilities?
No, we've had that.
I don't know.
I underlined abilities for you. Isn't that nice? Usually I do the colon
Wow.
and then 2 more, and it doesn't, or dashes, and it doesn't feel right. I went in and underlined. That's the kind
Thank
of
you so much.
Accessibility options.
going beyond. I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's a kind of support you can expect from me. Clarification on words and emphasis on the right syllable. Thanks, Mom Brain.
You're so welcome.
Mom Brain is here.
She sure is.
How are you doing, Mom Brain?
A little overwhelmed.
Oh, school, back to school, and back to school.
Yep, teaching started up again this week, and
What a dork! You're a
sc-
teacher and you're going to school.
and grad school started up again this week. But
December, it's all over.
I'll be done with grad school in December.
Heyo.
And
God willing.
have I checked at least 5 times to make sure I've registered for all the correct classes? Like I have this fear that
That
I'll
would be
have like
horrible,
missed
yeah.
something or whatever.
And you're good to graduate. Oh wait, you missed 1 credit over here.
That's I'm sure it'll
Cooking
happen.
for singles.
I'm sure it'll happen. And I have a really cool class this year, and I should be done as a classroom teacher at the end of this year and begin next year doing some more supervisory.
Well, one step at a time.
Yeah.
College done. Let's hope this year goes well at
So-
your teaching job. And yeah.
But I am a little overwhelmed. It's a lot of work to get done, a lot of lecture. It's kind of the semester of like electives that you have to get done.
Elective.
So they're like cool and interesting, but like, you know, it's like 400 minutes of lecture that I have to do during the week, which
I saw a
is awful.
school in Vermont that just closed because they were going to whatever, at home school because that's what the people there wanted. And it was like the school was so small. I believe it had 15 students through 4 grades. So like can you imagine like being, let's say you're in 6th grade and there's like 3 other students in your entire class. That's crazy.
That's what our local district is like.
We're that bad now?
Not the one we've got 84
That's way more.
students preschool through 5th grade.
I guess. I mean, it's still more, but not a ton.
Yeah.
Deux here. How are you doing?
Ooh.
Anything you'd like to talk about since my brain talked about school?
No, I've been pretty evenly whelmed myself.
Pretty good.
Which has been nice.
As I said, Nicky Hill will be here. He is in traffic. Godspeed, Nicky Hill. Josh Grobot is here, my friend from college. Josh, how are you doing?
Hanging
and banging, baby. Oh,
yeah.
Josh, exciting week for you. We'll get to it later, but Tetris news this week. And
did you know you can play Tetris for free on
Well,
Tetris.com?
you're going to have another way to play Tetris soon. I'm really excited for it. Hell yeah. And George is here. George, how are you doing?
George, no.
Good week, George. Anything of note to share or just another feeling lime situation?
Nothing to share. Been liming and smiling.
That's good to hear, George. Sneaker Hacks, hello, and Drake and Backseat Studios SD 10th Division. 10th Division says, RMC, I'm detecting some underlying negativity behind this statement. No, there was no negativity about anything, I promise. Hello, Rosemary the Farmer, and Steve Irwin, and Red Souza, and Nico Darunia, and Montbrain, and Malak Halo, and Tater Tot. Wow, Tater Tot. And Ice Dilbert, and Gecko Kitsune. Look at that from Ice Dilbert. The chocolate lava big cup Reese's. I saw that.
That looks really good. I don't love...
RLM Sticer, good to see you too.
I don't love chocolate lava. Like, that's not like my first option as a dessert if it's on the menu. But I do love hot fudge, and I feel like that peanut butter cup is going to be like a peanut butter cup with hot fudge in it, and that's going to be excellent.
I think it looks great. Yeah, I definitely want to try one. Yes, RLM, I see that. Very mindful podcast, very demure podcast. That poor person. I haven't checked in on their saga. Hello,
Jules.
Seal Diver. Hello, Radical Defect. We got hello, Roth. We got a who's who today. Jules is their name.
I believe it's Jules LeBron. She. Her pronouns are she, her.
Oh, okay. I didn't say anything, but okay. Just asking about their name. Yeah, I saw they didn't trademark their very demure thing, and now somebody else is making merch off of it, and yeah, bad situation.
That's so sad.
To get like something that's like so huge and really takes off like that, and people are garbage. But anyway, let's talk about good stuff.
Slick
I want to talk about slick stuff. So
gross.
Slick stuff, neat stuff. There, man, I write things down, and then after I write down my outline for the show, I think of other things, and I'm like, oh, don't forget to talk about that. And some of it's gone. It will come to me as we go on. I do want to mention that we have our second GN Expansion Pak feature this week. For those who weren't paying attention or didn't hear last week's show or don't know, GN Expansion Pak is a new feature on GoNintendo every Friday. It is free, just as everything else is on GoNintendo.
It's free.
It's a GN Expansion Pak is a new feature where I write about something that may be related to video games, but not Nintendo, or it could be about anime or TV shows or movies or music or whatever strikes my fancy at the time. The first week was about the can't miss anime of 2024 so far.
Wow.
And this week was about my thoughts and time with the Playdate. And if you're a podcast listener, you know all about the Playdate that I have. courtesy of Popple. Thank you again, Popple.
My thoughts and time go out to you.
I wrote about my time with the Playdate, what I think of the device, why it goes beyond nostalgia, in my opinion, and how it impacted me in ways that I wasn't expecting. Thank you so much for the support on this feature. It has gone much further than I expected it to. So people were interested in reading about the Playdate, and there were a considerable amount of Playdate owners in the comments as well.
Playdaters.
So that's Playdaters, of course. So that was cool to see. Just this week, Eurogamer, or not Eurogamer, Engadget put out a feature of their top Playdate game picks of the year so far, and I bookmarked that. There are a couple in there that I've already played, but a whole bunch that I haven't, and other ones that I didn't even hear of. So excited about that. But if you want to hear more about the Playdate, you can read that feature right now. It's on the front page. Also, here's a little teaser. If everything goes according to plan,
Kenkaku.
Nintendo will be writing next week's GN expansion pack feature, and I believe it's going to be a review of the new show on FX from that guy. You know, it's called, was it Teachers?
Oh, Brian
or
Jordan
whatever?
Alvarez.
Yes, the
BJA.
Actor who was already somewhat famous, but found even more fame through his TikTok characters, and he's got a TV show coming out. Is it called Teachers? Oh, okay. I was talking to you, Mom Brain.
I don't remember.
Let's see. English Teacher is the name of the show. It premieres September 2nd. A high school teacher in Austin, Texas, who often finds himself at the intersection of the personal, professional, and political aspects of working at a high school. So I'm interested in that show. Mom Brain is interested in the show. Nintendo is a fan of him, so she's been wanting to check out the show. So I believe, if time allows her, she will be writing that feature this week. So hopefully that is true, because if she doesn't, then I need something. I have ideas. I just would have to write them. But I'm counting on her. So look forward to that. Backseat Studio says they have 3 names, so you know that they're important. Of course, the more names you have, the more important you are.
That's
hi,
right.
Axel. Good to see you. So, again, there were other things I wanted to talk about, but I'm blanking on them. And if they pop into my mind, I will cover them. But I can move on to Patreon. Mom Brain, did you know that you can join the GoNintendo Patreon?
For $1.
For $1. Just $1 gets you access to the GoNintendo Patreon, and we do a brand new post there every single day. Whatever we do on the Patreon, it's $1. Will never be more than $1. Of course, you're welcome to send more than $1, but $1 gets you access to all of it. What did I write about this past week? I wrote about people seemingly wanting games to fail and how that makes me sad. Regardless of how I feel about the game in general, there aren't any games that I'm like, I can't wait for this to come out and I hope it bombs. It'd have to take a really bad group of developers that stand for things that I'm really against, and it'd have to be the entire team for me to even consider thinking about not wanting the game to have some sort of success. But, I don't think that would ever happen. But, it's not uncommon for people nowadays to root for games to fail before they even come out, or play into the dead game trope when something comes out. People like to be crappy.
It's trash.
It's trash. It's dog water. It's mid. The one that's getting it right now is Concord. I don't know how well Concord is actually doing in terms of sales or concurrent players. I've heard it was under 1,000 concurrent players. I heard it was roughly around 600 concurrent players. I heard it sold around 25,000 copies so far. So not exactly a big splash, certainly. And people before the game came out were pooping on it because of the type of game that it is. And they're saying, we don't want a game like this. And there's nothing wrong with you not wanting a game or being interested in a type of game or not planning to purchase a game, but to, harass the developers and say dead game and say, I hope your game fails and I can't wait for this game to bomb and blah, 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 all that stuff. I would say that's taking things a little too far. So the Concord team is getting raked over the coals right now. My understanding is the game play is very good.
The game?
But the characters are a little lackluster, but it's not a game that is broken or bad or horrible by any means. But, the internet, as soon as this game was revealed, decided we hate this game and we don't want it to succeed at all. So they let the developers know and are continue to let them know. And every social media post they put out there, people respond by saying dead game and nobody wants this garbage and other more horrible things. And I wrote about that just in general because we see that a lot with games, and I don't get it. And there was a time when I would say most of it comes from kids or teens who are growing up and being edgelords and not, knowing themselves fully yet and not understanding or thinking about things. And I bless you. I give room, and I give room for those people to grow. But as time goes on, we see that while that is part of the equation, the other part is people that just like to be mean and don't plan on ever growing up
You
or
underestimate the power of the
looking
dark
at things
side.
in a different light. They just want to be mean people. So I wrote about that. I also wrote about Secret Level, the upcoming animated show on Amazon Prime that is being done by, I don't remember his name. It's the same guy who did Love, Death, and Robots, whatever his name
Matt
is.
Groening.
No. He's the same guy that did the first Deadpool movie.
Ryan Reynolds.
No. Someone in the chat will know him. The guy who's directing it, I don't remember his name. But anyway, Secret Level is it's an anthology series that's animated that is going to cover a whole bunch of games. We've talked about it before. But Mega Man is going to be one of the games, and how I wrote about how
Rockman?
The one and only Rockman. I wrote about how I'm excited to see that because I'm always clamoring for something Mega Man related. And I'm not one that gets excited about collections of games for the most part. I'm not like, oh boy, all the games I've already played or owned now again in one package. I think it's great that gets released because people get to go, not everybody is as ancient as I am when it comes to video games. So they're like, I want to play the Battle Network games, and I was not around when they came out, or I was too young to play them, or whatever it may be. So I think that's great. But as a Mega Man fan, I want something new. And while this isn't a game, it is new Mega Man content, and it's nice to see Mega Man get the focus of an animated short. So I'm eager. Tim Miller, thank you, Backseat Studios. I'm excited to see what comes of this, and maybe I'm interested in learning if it's going to parlay into a new game or be related to a new game in some way, or if it's just, just a unique take on Mega Man. But whatever it is, I'll take it because it's Mega Man.
What would you do if you watched it and it was just that flash animation of Mega Man that you made like 20 years ago that was stolen?
Maybe it would. People would like it more because it's going to be computer generated, so it'll be all fancy looking, and anything that raises a profile Mega Man is fine by me. That's what I'll say. But that's not happening. Well, I also talked about our latest Nintendo World Championships NES Edition challenge. We are doing the Wizrobe Warrior Challenge in The Legend of Zelda.
That's a great name.
You have to
see my Wizrobe?
You have to defeat 5 Wizrobes. I believe it's 5. as quickly as you can.
You have Disrobe Challenge, did you say?
The Legend of Zelda Disrobe Challenge. The current record... I get it. The current record holder is Guy Bones with a once again incredible time of 4 seconds 96 milliseconds. That is a killer time on that. Again, you just start in a room. There's Wizrobes there. You kill them as quickly as you can. That ends the run. So it's not a complicated one, but squeezing out the milliseconds and getting the time down as low as you can. That's going to be the ultimate challenge there. So good luck beating that time. I think that one's sticking until next week.
Are the
4 seconds, 96 milliseconds.
Are they randomly generated as far as where they disappear or where they reappear to? Or
I think where they first start off in the challenge is cemented, but where they go after that is random. Like you can get in there and kill 2 of them with 1 hit right away, but after that, I don't think it's guaranteed where they go. So
a lot of this one could be luck.
It might not be like, it's probably not infinitely random. I'm sure it's like, 16 different places they could pop up or something like that based on where they start. So, if anybody watches speed running, it's RNG, random number generation. People will reset games or reset levels because they're looking for a specific seed to get where they know that something will be here and something will be there, and it helps their speed run. So it's one of those situations. I also wrote about the Nintendo Direct this week. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't a Nintendo Direct. It was a double Nintendo Direct. It was a partner showcase and an Indie World showcase. And I talked about the games that most excited me during that presentation, but I won't say them now because we're going to cover the Direct in a little bit. But spoiler alert, the next day I wrote about one of the games that was announced and released that day. the Castlevania Dominus collection, which is the three
Domino.
DS, not the 3DS, the 3DS Castlevania games
Dawn
that
of
came out.
Sorrow,
That is one.
Order of
That
Ecclesia,
is two.
and Portrait of Ruin.
That's all three. You
not
got
in
'em.
not in that order.
You gave
actually,
first, third, and second, but it doesn't matter. You got them. You got all three games. That's what's important. So all three games, one package. I don't know how much. I don't know what the price is. $30, $40? I got no idea. But great to see those games leave their system they were imprisoned on, the DS, because I know, it's tough to get the original games and you might not have the original hardware and all that stuff. And, I'm not one for remakes, so I'm all about this kind of thing because it's a collection of the games as they were on the system they were originally released. So I'm all about that. If you want to have them on an easier to access system or you've never played them before, this is a great way to do it. And I wrote about it with a focus on these games were on the DS, and this collection mimics most of what the DS was. So in a collection, you can change how things are shown, but you have one screen that is the top main screen where the action was. And then you have on the side a smaller screen for what would be the bottom screen on the DS, which shows your maps or your items or whatever in the Castlevania games. But again, the Castlevania Dominus collection lets you adjust things. So you can make the screens bigger or smaller or put them in a different arrangement, whatever works for you. And I was saying how it's not like, I don't want to call it inelegant, but it's not like a sophisticated solution, but it's one that works. And if we're going to see games leave their DS prison to be revived on platforms nowadays in a collection or whatever, other companies are going to have to do this thing. Nintendo did this with the Wii U Virtual Console when it came to DS games. They gave you some options, but now Konami's doing it. And for a while there, a lot of people were like, well, all those DS games are going to stay trapped on the DS because what other system is going to be able to do what the DS did? And for some games, that's not really going to be an issue. Like for the Castlevania games, yes, they use two screens, but mostly they were for information purposes, not where you needed to use the touchscreen to actually do things. We were talking about this on Patreon. I can't remember exactly, but in Dawn of Sorrow, did you have to draw things, spells?
Yeah, there were something like that.
So I don't know how that is, how that works here. It's probably just a button. Like you just you cycle through whatever spell you want and you just do it. So obviously there's other games on the DS that would be really hard to do on a traditional system. They'd have to be completely reworked to make sense for a regular controller, unless you're going to make it like only play on the touchscreen of the Switch or something like that. So not every game is going to be possible to bring over without a lot of work, and it probably won't make sense for the time or the effort or the money. But games like this Castlevania trilogy of games do make sense, so it's nice to have them come over. Do you have any plans on getting that or no? Do you have the original? Did you play all three? You did, right?
I never played Order of Ecclesia.
Oh, the best, in my opinion, the best of the three.
Yeah, I really liked Dawn of Sorrow, and then I didn't really like Portrait of Ruin that much, and you really liked it. And
I liked Portrait of Ruin, but I would say it's the weakest of the three.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Portrait of Ruin didn't do it for me, and then I guess when Order of Ecclesia came out, I just never got into it. But
Order of Ecclesia, it's got the best soundtrack of all of them, that's for sure. The soundtracks are good in both the first two, but the third, it's really got a killer soundtrack. But the game in general, it's a great Metroidvania, but I love the mechanic of defeating enemies and sucking them up to like get their attributes and special spells. It was just a really cool mechanic.
Kirby-like.
Yeah, Kirby-like, except you were using an ancient tattoo on your back rather than just eating enemies.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw you play that then.
Yeah, what's her face? Shanoa lifts up her hair to reveal the thing on her back, and she sucks up the enemies. Charlotte and Jonathan.
Charlotte.
Was this on Patreon? Somebody said when Portrait of Ruin came out, they bought 2 copies because their name is Jonathan and their friend's name is Charlotte. And they gave them a copy, and they're like, "It's a game with us in it."
That's not nice.
Not too many. I mean, there you go. Radical Defect. It was him. Old podcast listeners will remember that Kirby and I used to say that to each other all the time, Charlotte and Jonathan, because he also played that game. I believe Nicky Hill played it too. So I wrote about that. I wrote about GameStop Retro. Who heard about GameStop Retro?
Not me.
So GameStop much like Pizza Hut is doing Pizza Hut Classic.
Mm-hmm.
GameStop's doing GameStop Retro, which is they're completely revamping some of their stores to be retro focused stores. So you go in and you are looking at like NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy games, all that stuff. It's not a focus on new stuff. It's a focus on old stuff, including the hardware. So you could go in and buy a Super Nintendo or a PlayStation or whatever. And you can still go in and trade in your old stuff and get credit. It works just like how GameStop does now, except it's focused on retro platforms. And I think that's a cool idea. Is it going to help GameStop return to its former fortunes? No, but it's an interesting idea, and I do like it. People on Patreon brought up the great point of GameStop when it comes to trade-ins hasn't ever really been that great because their employees, for better or worse, or well, for worse for the consumer, don't really check what's being traded in. They might like put it in the system and be like, yeah, it works, whatever. And then, it's a very scratched disc, or it might not work the whole way, or it might be a reproduction of a cartridge rather than the real deal. So unsavory characters would go to GameStop and be like, here's a copy of Shantae for the Game Boy Color, and they get their money for it, but it's really a reproduction cart and not the real deal. So they're making a buck off of it. GameStop selling it, making even more money. And you as a consumer, unless you're very savvy, think you're getting an official cartridge, and you're not. You're getting a knockoff.
You're getting a Tengen.
So yeah. So if you're going to GameStop Retro and you are looking to buy something and you care about that stuff, make sure you look into it before you make your purchase, because maybe you don't want a reproduction cart. Other people don't care. So you might get a repro and it doesn't matter to you because you just want to play the game. So whatever it is. But I do think on a base level, the idea is a pretty cool one. And we actually have a one. There's two in Jersey and one's in South Plainfield. So not horrendous.
Yeah.
I would like to go to it to check it out. It was a test run that they did a while ago, and apparently it went over really well. And now they're expanding greatly the amount of retro stores they have. And chances are they have at least a couple in your state. So if you type in GameStop Retro, you'll get a store locator that is specifically for retro locations.
Is there
Check your area.
How retro do they go? Like, do they cut it off at Super Nintendo Genesis? Or?
No, let me tell you, because they do have a cutoff. It's funny you were saying that, and before I started talking about this, I was like, let me look up that information. I forgot to do it. Here's what they have. NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64, Nintendo DS, Wii U, GameCube, Xbox 360, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Dreamcast, Genesis, Saturn, PS Vita. So a considerable amount, but no PlayStation Portable. Don't know why no PSP, but PlayStation Vita they do have. Yeah, so, and also my other thing was, I hope it's not like a lot of other retro game stores are, where you go and it's like, here's 47 copies of Madden this year through that year, and you're, and like a random game that everybody already had, like Mario Brothers Duck Hunt or something like that. And you're like, can I get something outside of sports games that I have no interest in? So I don't know what GameStop will be like, but you would hope if they're basing a whole store off of it, they have some inventory beyond old sports games, because nobody wants them and they sell for like $1, if that. I've seen them listed for a penny before. So because nobody's really, unless you had one that was very near and dear to your heart, nobody's like, let me get NBA 94 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So look into it. It's an interesting idea. And then last but not least, I talked about the Civilization series, because while I know of it, and I have played one, but very, 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 very quickly. I'm going to say like 15 minutes. It was the Super Nintendo version of Civilization. I've never played any Civ games, even though I know of them. And I have friends who are really into it because they scare me much like RPGs do. And I said, maybe it's time for me to not be scared, because Civilization 7 is coming out, I want to say February 11th on all systems, Switch included. The Civ team was just talking about how much Switch matters to them and how important the platform is, and how much Switch owners mean to them, and why it's important for them to be there day and date with the brand new Civ game. So they did it last time with Civilization 6, which was awesome. So I'm very happy to see that support. And I was like, maybe it's time for me to try these games, because I know they're popular. And it's funny because I wrote that, and then just today, I believe Civ 6 went on sale on the Switch for like a considerable discount, because obviously they're like, well, we announced the new one. People know when it's coming, and now is the time to drop the price of the other one because we'll get people to jump in there and get a really good discount. Yeah. So, yeah, this is really good. So if you're just going Civilization 6 on Switch, just the base digital version was $30. You can get it right now for $3. That's a really good deal.
Civ 6 Switch.
Also, the anthology
For a
version of it.
dollar. For a
There
dollar.
you go, $3. The anthology version was originally $70. Right now, you can get it for $19.59. Another great deal. And if you want the platinum edition, which is like the in between of the two, so better than just the base, but not as good as the anthology, that was normally $50, and right now it's $10. So, you know, yeah. That sale ends on the 10th of September, by the way. You know, I got enough gold points for $3. I think I should buy it, even if I can't figure it out or I don't like it. It's $3. Like, what
It's
does
a
it
great
matter?
price. How can you argue with that?
That's a really good price, and I'm scared to death that I'm not going to know what the hell to
Isn't
do.
Civ
but-
6 wasn't Civ 6 a disappointment, or is everyone a disappointment until people play it? And
I
then
don't
they're like,
remember any disappointment with it. I don't remember anybody complaining about it, really.
all right.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, like Lube and JTS still play it all the time, so they enjoy it, and they're diehard Civ fans. But they are, hi William, they are not against criticism of it. But yeah, I haven't heard anything really bad. It seems like the kind of game you would really get into. I'm dead serious. I think like I
Right.
could see you really, because it's got the historical slant and it's got like city building and world building and stuff like that. I could see you really like putting some time into that. But,
Maybe, yeah. I know all about it.
so yeah, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger for $3. Like I said, I can't pass that up. SD, I see your question now. Do GameStop retros have Game Informer? That's very funny and very sad. Maybe they have a couple old ones in there, but I wonder if you go to GameStop Retro, if they try and get you to sign up for something too, because what would they be like? I guess you get discounts by being a GameStop member, even on retro games. I don't know how it works out. Obviously, they want you to get some sort of subscription, so they'll be pushing for something. But there you go. That's what I wrote about on Patreon this week. Bless you.
Thank you.
We are going to go into the double Nintendo Direct in a minute, but first, don't do it. Not yet. I have something to say, and I have to be very careful about how I say it. And you can ask questions all you want, but I can't answer them. Nicky Hill and I earlier this week were very lucky to be invited to a hands-on session with Nintendo to play Zelda Echoes of Wisdom as well as Super Mario Party Jamboree. All I can tell you is that we were invited to play for extensive hands-on of both. And we will have coverage of that in the near future. I cannot tell you when, but in the near future, so stay tuned. I can't say that either. Obviously, we'll talk about it on the podcast when we are allowed to. But yes, in the near future, we will have thoughts. I'll be writing features on those games. Nicky Hill will be talking on the podcast with me about it. But you're going to have to put up with me writing about that stuff. I'm very excited to talk to you about it, but I cannot say more. So there's two juicy things to look forward to in the not so distant future. Okay, now, Mom Brain, you can do it. Let's get into news. Finally. There were rumors about there being a Nintendo Direct, and those rumors once again turned out to be true. But it was a little bit different. We didn't get a traditional Nintendo Direct this week. But we also, as far as I know, it was the first time we got a double Nintendo Direct. We got a partner showcase and an Indie World showcase back to back. So it was a 40-plus minute presentation of two different types of Directs, jam-packed with things we didn't know about, updates on things we did know about, and all kinds of fun stuff. Boy, was it not a fun day for me, because I got invited by Nintendo to go do this hands-on, and I was like, well, of course I'm going to do this. I booked my appointment. Then the next day, Nintendo's like, Nintendo Direct at almost exactly the time when I would have to leave. And I was like, oh. And Quince is normally my filling guy. I'd be like, Quince, you want to go to this event? Because I can't go. Quince is on vacation this week, so he could not do that. And I was like, not only is Quince on vacation, who helps me out with Nintendo Directs or going to events, now we have 2 Directs on the day that I have to go somewhere. So I reached out to a big thanks to Cookies on staff and Nintendo Jam on staff. They Nintendo Jam tag teamed the Nintendo Directs with me. I would say this was the worst one ever. They were very rapid fire. It was a lot. Like, it was very quick and it was a lot to do. So he helped me during the actual Direct. Then Cookies did the cleanup on the assets. So trailers, screenshots, press releases, all that stuff. So a big thanks to both of them. Also, an extra thanks to Nintendo Jam because they covered regular news that day too. So while I was gone, while I was off gallivanting, playing games that aren't out yet, poor Nintendo Jam had to sit here and cover the site. But thank you to both of them. We got it done, but boy, was it I was so tired that day. I was dead. It was a lot to do. But I'm not complaining because I'm writing about video games and I'm playing video games. So, but a double Direct, and I would love to talk to you about it because there were some very fun, exciting things. I have the official press release, and we will tackle it as Nintendo shared it. Here's a list of all the games featured. Okay. This is one I have been waiting for. I didn't get it on PC because I was like, this has to come to Switch, right? Well, I was right. And it was a Shadow Drop. Announced and released the same day, Pizza Tower. Pizza Tower was a big hit on PC. I believe Switch is the only platform it's on as far as consoles goes. It is a very heavily Wario Land inspired platformer. Fast-paced platforming adventure, Pizza Tower, starring the main character, Peppino Spaghetti.
Oh, yeah.
I know. He's on a mission to destroy the titular Pizza Tower in order to save his restaurant from annihilation. So yeah, I've almost bought this one on Steam many times, and every time I hovered over the button, I was like, no, hold out. It's gonna come to Switch. Finally happened. So it was announced. I was very excited it was announced, and then they did the best of all. They were like, now it's out today. So Pizza Tower is available right now. Balatro, or as we know, there's no wrong way to say it according to the developer. The Friends of Jimbo free update was announced. So if you're a Balatro player, you're getting extra content. Updates featuring cards from Dave the Diver, Among Us, Do Michaels, get ready, The Witcher 3, and
Gwent
Vampire
cards?
Survivors. So free DLC from 4 other big games adding into Balatro. So special cards. Balatro, another one that I haven't played. It's a multi-million seller. I want to play it. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's a card-based game that is not about gambling, but it's its own thing with all kinds of wacky multipliers and everything. It looks like a ton of fun. It looks like one of those games where, much like Vampire Survivors, you sit down and you're like, I'll play one round, and then you finish and you're like, one more. I'll do one more. Did you see the Vampire Survivors trailer that came out this week?
No.
Vampire Survivors just launched on PS4 and PS5, so now it's on everything finally. But they did a live action trailer commercial to promote it with the old guy character, and it's so well done. It feels like an old school game commercial from when we were kids, but also with production value of today. It's a really great stupid commercial. It's good. It's just like an old man in a retro TV, and he's dressed up like the old guy in the game, and he's wandering through the forest and finds an old TV and starts playing, and
nice.
It teleports him through time, and he finds other people to play couch co-op with. It's just a stupid fun trailer, really well done. Really liked it. But yes, the Balatro update is also available now, so free and available right away. Coffee Talk, if Lube was here, he would be excited. I still haven't played either Coffee Talk game because I'm not a real gamer. They announced Coffee Talk Tokyo. It's a brand new installment in the award-winning Coffee Talk series. So this one is coming out in 2025 is all that we know. Set to the soothing backdrop of original lo-fi tracks by series composer Andrew Jeremy. So Same thing. Late night coffee shop. This one's in Tokyo. You may come across some interesting people and interesting stories, and they might even be supernatural in some ways. But there you go.
I'll take the natural.
There we go. Power Wash Simulator got some new DLC. It's coming out fall 2024, the DLC. Power Wash Simulator has been doing very well, and it's been expanded greatly with various DLC for big names, and I don't know that you could get a bigger name than this one. Soon you'll be cleaning up Shrek's swamp in Power Wash Simulator. So you'll be heading to the swamp to clean up Shrek's crap and the dragon's lair and all that stuff.
I thought he liked his swamp the way he had it, right?
He does, but please excuse me, my Shrek lore isn't the best. Does he still live there anymore?
Oh, I don't know. I don't recall how it ended.
All I know is I've seen the first movie and I thought it was okay.
The lady turns into his kind, and they
Yes.
live in the swamp. It sounds like a slam dunk.
Then there's the second, which I didn't see. Then there's the third, which I saw in theaters for somebody's birthday, and I thought it was horrendous.
Oh,
So much so that I've like blanked all of it from my mind. I know they're in the castle at some point, and that's all I got. And now they're doing a fourth. So I'm not the biggest Shrek fan. I know Shrek's a big meme on the internet, and people love Shrek. Peace and love, not really my thing, but you're getting the Shrek DLC in fall 2024. Peglin was announced and released the same day, and it's a timed console exclusive for Switch, meaning Switch is the only place you can get it as far as traditional consoles go for now. You can get it on PC, but if you want to play it on a platform or if you want to play it on traditional hardware, it's Switch only for now. Peglin is a roguelike pachinko-inspired RPG. So take Peggle and the gameplay of Peggle and marry that with an RPG. So fighting enemies and hit points and damage and all that stuff. That's available now on Switch. I am actually playing it, and I will tell you my thoughts on it later. Mom Brain, would you like to talk about this one while I catch my breath?
Sure. I know why you asked. I'm here to talk about morsels.
You're here to talk about it?
Yeah. Oh dear. GoNintendo.
My browser crashes all the time. I told you I need a new phone. You
Uh,
don't need to read it. Like, you know about it.
okay, so Morsels is a really cool looking game. There's something about it that gives me a little bit of an Earthbound vibe, because there's like some stuff in it that's like gross, but in a really cute, fun way. I don't know exactly the point of the game, except I think you're supposed to like save these critters called morsels. I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. The look of the game is so cool because it's like pixels, but it's not only pixel art. Like,
it's a very interesting art style. It's like very detailed, but it is pixelated. But there's a lot going on with it.
And
Like, it's very sophisticated.
it's like a little grungy looking.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
The colors are vibrant and like 80s, 90s kind of inspired. There's like a lot of like neonish, like magenta and green and purple. The critters just look so endearing but gross, and the name morsels just gets me. And the first part of the trailer just shows this like little mouse critter getting a piece of cheese, like a hunk of cheese, and there's something about just everything about it is delightful to me, and I'm really, really, I hope it's a game that I enjoy playing because I really want to like experience it. And I think that kind of is saying something like about a game when you can look at it and be like, I would like to experience this. You know, it's not about like a character you know and love, or
Not yet.
or like you look at something and you're like, that looks like, I don't know, there's just something about it I want to experience, and that's all there is to it. And I do hope it's as excellent as I want it to be.
There's only one song in the trailer, but the song is really good, very atmospheric and moody. It sounds awesome. It's published by Annapurna Interactive, who I'd say one of my top publishers. They never put out anything that I don't at least find somewhat engaging. I love a lot of their stuff, so this looks like a home run to me. It comes out February 2025 on Switch. Wobbly Life was announced. A vibrant open world physics sandbox. It looks a lot like Human Fall Flat, and I had a lot of fun with Human Fall Flat. That was a really great physics-based platformer that was just good for messing around and having stupid fun. This looks very similar. Grandma has kicked you out of her home, demanding you get a job. Choose from over 50 unique missions and jobs to tackle on your own, or make your simulated life easier by teaming up with another player online or via local co-op. It's obviously very inspired by Human Fall Flat. So if Human Fall Flat is your thing, then Wobbly Life might be your thing as well. Comes out December 2024. A game we already knew about, got a release date. Date Everything. Mom Brain, listen to this game because I think you might have fun with it. In this sandbox dating simulator, players can indeed date pretty much everything they encounter, namely 100 characters ranging from household objects to appliances and even concepts. Engage in flirtatious branching dialogue with these fully voiced characters as you get to know them and form meaningful relationships. Choices can result not just in love, but also in friendship or even disdain. So, like, I saw somebody dating a medicine cabinet in the trailer, and a refrigerator, and like a wall, and a picture, and it's it's gonna have meaningful moments in it, but it's also written like funnily too. So, it's such a strange idea. I'm down with it. I like it, and I'm intrigued just to see like what you can date and what kind of relationship it'd be. Comes out October 24th on Switch. We found out. What was that show on TLC where the
My
lady
Strange
like
Addiction, or
fell in love with the Ferris wheel? And
yeah,
what was she saying?
he's
I love the feel of your.
I forget too. Good for her.
I'm not knocking her, but it's not a life I live. But now through Date Everything, I can. There was the guy who was like having sex with his car.
Yeah.
Where he was like kissing the tailpipe and everything. It was a nice looking car.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I said it was a nice looking
Date
car.
Everything.
Also, we got a release date for Neva, which is a game I've been dying to get my hands on. It is the second game from Nomada Studios, the team that did Grease. So finally, their follow-up has gotten a release date, October 15th. It is not far off, people. We're about a month and a half away from that one. Very exciting. Get ready to cry, I'm sure, because it's about a woman and her pet wolf creature, and there's going to be death, and it's going to be sad, and you know what's going to happen.
No.
But it looks like a lot of fun.
Never.
Sea of the Stars. We got our first real look at the Throes of the Watchmaker DLC. This was announced a long time ago.
Sea of the Stars. Is that on Games Pass?
Oh, did I say Sea of the Stars?
You did.
Sea of Stars. Throes of the Watchmakers. So sorry. The DLC is free. It comes out spring 2025. Again, we knew about this, but this was our first real detailed look at it. Gear up for a journey full of oddities and wonders in which Valerie and Zale will have to play by new rules to stop a cursed carnival. Zale will transform into a skillful juggler, while Valerie will dazzle as an acrobat. Together with new playable character Artie,
The strongest man in the
that's
world.
what I was waiting for. They'll explore new areas, traverse new dungeons, and encounter new enemies, bosses, and puzzles in their quest to save the world of Horlage. The DLC will also support the upcoming local co-op mode, allowing players to team up with up to 2 others for a group adventuring session. Pretty cool idea. I don't remember, and please forgive me. Did you start Sea of Stars?
Yeah, I've started it twice, actually.
How long ago was the second time?
Not very long. I got the physical copy for Switch a
Hmm.
couple of months ago, and I played a couple of hours.
That's what it was.
And I actually was liking it, but it was right before I had a family member come visit for a week, and then I fell out. I didn't play for the week, and then I didn't get back into it, and I never tried. So
it happens. Also announced was Moth Cubit, which is coming out to Switch spring 2025. Crawl your way up the corporate ladder of an insect mega corporation in this surreal RPG where you'll take on the role of Moth Cubit. Sounds like a Star Wars character. An ordinary employee who's recently earned a promotion. Tread carefully, though. Mysteries abound, and the threat of a sinister event known as the Final Process is looming. It looks like let's say it looks like Earthbound and Undertale. It looks like those kind of games, and you don't need to say anything more for me. I'm all about it. This was our first look at the game. I didn't know anything about it. It looks very interesting and exciting. Focuses a lot on story. I'm all about it. So again, spring 2025. Another surprise announcement and release was Pico Park 2. You might remember that Nicky Hill, myself, and Kirby played Pico Park from beginning to end. It's the little platformer where there's series of levels, and each series of levels has a unique mechanic to them. So, like, you're all tethered together in one, or only each one of you has a specific ability. So, like, one can jump, and one can push, and one can pull, or something like that. And like, you play those batches of levels and have to work together to get to the end. It is very rudimentary in visuals and presentation, but it is fantastic gameplay wise. Like I said, we liked it so much we played literally the whole game start to finish. We really liked it. It was a lot of fun to play co-op, and that game has local co-op for up to 8 people. Well, I guess the first Pico Park did well enough to warrant a sequel. 2 to 8 players can work together via local player online to navigate through more than 60 new levels full of ledges, cliffs, and other obstacles. Each one can be completed regardless of how many players you have on your side, but reaching the exit will require strategic thinking and coordinated movement. There's also world, endless, and battle modes, and the new dark mode, where your skills and friendships will be put to the ultimate test. Again, announced this week, released this week, so it's available right now. Definitely going to get that because I love the first one so much. So just need to, like I said, get the band back together, which probably isn't going to happen. But I would love for you to be the third player with me and Nicky Hill if you're up for it.
I will rise to the occasion.
I don't know how much the game is, but it's got to be dirt cheap. I'll have to take a look. I can't imagine it's much at all. We also got to look at the Plucky Squire. We've known all about that. We've known. Oh, okay. Plucky Squire comes out September 17th. We just recently learned that, so it's just another look at the game. We got another look at Shovel Knight Shovels of Hope DX, an enhanced edition of the platforming classic, now with 20 playable characters, seamless online multiplayer, and other new features. That's coming to the Switch in 2025. On Your Tail, another game we already knew about, but it got a release date. It comes out November 21st. On Your Tail is a sleuthing, story-driven life sim in which the intrepid young detective Diana must unmask the thief who's menacing a charming seaside town. We got to look at Cuisinier, a roguelike game combining delectable dungeon crawling and fast-paced restaurant management elements into one cute and tasty mix. That comes out January 28th, 2025. You had me at roguelite and dungeon crawling. You lost me at fast-paced restaurant management. Those games scared the crap out of me, and I've had to play them, and boy, did they raise my stress level. I cannot do it. They are just not fun for me at all in the least. I had to play Overcooked 2 with the developers of Overcooked, and it was probably the most stressful thing I've ever had to do. And they were totally fine and great, and it was a lovely conversation, and it was a lot of fun to play alongside them. But boy, was I uncomfortable. I can't. Anything about a restaurant, like the idea of working in a restaurant, scares me. Like I was thinking about you and my cousin both working as servers, and bringers, and I can't. I don't know how. I give anyone who's in that industry so much credit because I don't know how you do it, and you did it at like numerous places too. So my hat is off to you.
Yeah, it's stressful. It's a stressful job.
When we went to Pizza Hut, as you know, Pizza Hut's not like it used to be.
Stressful.
And you get when you get your drinks, they don't bring them to the table. You have to bring them to the table. And in North Carolina, we had like 12 people there, and they just put all the drinks on a tray. And I didn't say anything, but I'm like, there's no way I can do this. Like, I'm going to dump all of these. This is impossible. And the woman behind the counter clearly saw the look on my face because she was like, do you want me to carry them over there? I was like, yes, please. I can't do this. Yeah. And just dealing with people in general, like I can't imagine it. So even in the virtual world, it's too much for me to handle.
I found that people generally are nicer to their server than they will be to someone working retail in my experience. But
Really? I guess because they're like less. They don't want their food screwed with.
I'm guessing,
Yeah.
you know,
you look to be working harder. Like the work you're doing, there's like a final product for the work you're doing. Like the food is on the table and like you're resolving things. Like, can you get me more ketchup? Like in a it's like very
Yeah.
quick way.
Plus, I think people really enjoyed eating and like sitting down and having their food brought to them, and like that.
Yeah.
That is like generally a more pleasurable experience than going to, in my experience, the Apple Store and dealing
Yeah.
with retail customers and being like, why can't I be helped out right away?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. So, I mean, yes, my jobs in those fields were very specific, so I can't say that works for everybody, but yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful because you just want to, you want to do well, you want to help people out, and it can be stressful remembering all that stuff and having it all fly at you at the same time.
This was my cousin's last week before she goes back to college, and she had like a horrible week. As I told you, she had somebody throw up at a table. And she also had a family that was, I'm not going to go into the specifics, but they like, as soon as she came over to the table, they were like, who are you voting for? You have to vote for blank because blank.
It's like,
let's put it the way my cousin said it. She said, by the way they were acting, she already knew that they were going to support this specific candidate. And then they said that. And she's like, well, I'm not surprised, because they were like, the woman said to her, the woman that was ordering the food was like, I want my steak medium rare, but not too medium. And she kept saying it over and over again, medium rare, but not too medium. And she was like, let me taste it when it comes out. Don't go anywhere, because I want to tell you if it's right.
God.
So she did all that and tasted it. And she was like, I need this to be more medium. And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, my goodness.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie Brown's, I've happened to work there too. And man, people, I believe it. There, for some reason, there's something about the prime rib in that place that drives people nuts.
It is an older clientele too at Charlie Brown's, so they are.
And they have coupon. I don't know if they still do the coupons, but there was like a coupon day or something, so people would come in with their coupons. And I had people order prime rib and like eat 3/4 of it and be like, it wasn't how I wanted it cooked. And it's like, maybe you could have told me, before you ate the entire thing.
Did I tell you about her story about how the woman wanted the plate to be extremely hot?
Yeah.
She's like, this plate has to be like so hot that you can barely hold on to it. It's such a weird request. She got the plate and was like, this plate's not hot enough. And she's like, so my cousin is like, if we're just like, I have to go back there and put the plate in a microwave, because what are you going to do? Like, no, the chefs aren't like, let me prepare the plate hotter for you. Like, it wasn't about the food; it was about the actual plate temperature. So
do you think that person at home like heats their plates in the oven or something before plating? I mean, seems, unhinged.
I will say, I would never ask for a hot plate. I don't care. I was saying this yesterday, actually, with family. You got to be really, 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 really egregiously bad in some way for me to say anything about you at a restaurant to like upper management. I've never done it, and I'm almost sure I never would. But, like if a waiter came up to me and brought me my food and like spit on it and said like, you're garbage, then I would say something. But outside of that, I don't think I'm going to say anything. But the things that people say and the way that they do it, and like the air of like, I'm the most important person in the world.
Look, and we're not eating anywhere that like is so expensive that you'd be like, look, for the amount of money I'm paying, I can't like be okay with myself for just letting this go. Like, I could understand if you went out somewhere that was very expensive and very special. I could feel more comfortable being very kindly assertive and saying,
yes, you would do it in a nice way,
right? Like, this is just bad, or like if I was at a restaurant and like there was something going on with my meal that I like, if I was the server, I'd want to know. Yeah. Like, we found a worm.
This was on the
like,
floor.
Right.
Something like that. But like otherwise, I mean, we're not eating at places that have these like.
Don't you badmouth where we go.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm just, it would have to be a very
Pizza Hut.
big deal.
What I was saying, what I originally was going to say is, speaking of hot plates, I would never ask for one, but at Pizza Hut, whenever they just wash the dishes and you get one right out of
Oh, yeah.
dishwasher and it's a nice warm plate, I was always like, ooh, this is nice.
Feels good.
I wouldn't ever ask for it, but it was nice. Yes, 10 Division, you are thinking like we think. Said, sound like that person shouldn't have ordered steaks. And if you're that picky about a dish, I'm only going to eat it if I cook it myself. That's the way to do it. That's
plus,
exactly right.
This isn't like Ruth Chris's Steakhouse. No
Yeah.
offense to Charlie Brown's, but it's like a chain, like kind of restaurant.
It's like going to a
it's not-
TGI Fridays or something.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not going there for the best cut of meat you've ever had.
Yeah.
You're going for an affordable prime rib.
Yeah.
So, like, where do they get off being so? I get being particular and wanting it a certain way, but to be so needy in that
Yes.
respect, it's like, you know what? Maybe go home and cook it yourself if you know exactly how you
Yeah.
like it.
Hi,
You don't have
Darmani.
to come here and torture us.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I'm not saying people shouldn't say things when they're out, but there's a way to say it nicely
Yeah.
and respectfully and kindly and with compassion. But yeah, like that kind of stuff, you just don't do that.
Well,
That's
you
too
could-
far beyond.
You could tell that because, you're right. It's one thing to be like, I want medium rare. It comes and you're like, actually, could you cook it a little longer? That's one thing. And obviously be nice when you do it. But like that lady knew that she was a problem, that she herself was a problem.
Yes.
She wouldn't call herself a problem, but she knew that she was going to be like, just the fact that she prefaced it with, don't go anywhere once I get the food. I need to inspect it. I need to
Yeah.
do this, that, and the other. Like, that's kind of like very controlling in a way that
Yeah.
I find unnecessary in a restaurant.
Yeah, Darmani, I see you saying stuff about clean dishes. If you don't get a clean dish, you're going to say something. I totally understand that. Yeah, you don't want to get sick or like a dirty dish is something I think that is valid and worth bringing up. But again, you can do so in a kind, respectful way and be like, I've done that with silverware before where I've been like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a pain, but
Yeah.
the silverware has some crap on it. I don't say it like that, but they're like, oh yeah, no problem. You know,
that's so
very
gross.
respectful.
Yeah.
But
Speaking
yeah.
of restaurants, I'm sorry that this one game threw me on such a tangent, but we got to do it. And it's a great story. Mom Brain, I'm going to let you tell it. Not the whole story, but just my dad and the bread.
Oh no.
Listen,
This is so good.
I say this with total and complete love for this man. We went out to a place that has excellent food, very laid back.
I said we got to take you guys there.
They
We
do
really
a ton of takeout. Like it's just it's great food, but it's a really laid back atmosphere. It's lovely. Their main focus is Italian food, and they make all their own like pasta and bread and whatever. So we're out with Raw Mom and Raw Dad and Nintendo, and they bring you out like a bread basket, and it's almost too hot to touch the bread. It's like fresh, and it's sliced, but it's not sliced all the way through the bottom of the crust, and it's
It's like
fat
80%
loaf,
sliced.
like a big fat loaf.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you can take a slice, but you have to break it.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting across from Raw Dad and next to Raw Meat, and I know how this is going to go, right? I'm like, who would like bread? And Raw
It's like
Dad.
the best part.
The bread basket goes down
So-
on the table.
so good. Bread
and
is so good.
in his defense, he did try to be demure and
Very
cutesy
demure.
about it,
Very fatherly.
but it wasn't working. So he ended up in a very bizarrely intimate way fingering every
Oh,
part of the loaf that could be
Like
There
he's
was
going
not,
through a Filofax.
like the
He's like,
surface area.
But it didn't even start like that. It started with him putting his hand by the slice that he wanted and literally taking his other hand and putting it on the entire loaf. Like every single slice, just hand on the whole thing. And then fingering through
it's
the
always
slices.
like, what? How do these old people get COVID? I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe.
And
There
Mom
was
Brain,
not-
like, we're both looking at it, and she elbows me, and I'm watching this, and I was like, well, I guess we're all eating your dirty hands for dinner.
And
Man.
he's a very clean person. He's not like, it's
He apologized. He was like,
yeah.
I wasn't thinking. I'm sorry. It's not a
And
big
he
deal because
couldn't-
we know him. It's fine. I know he's not dirty.
And
but-
it like never occurred to him to like get a knife or ask for a knife or just be like, you know what, I'm gonna mess this up.
to
Somebody
rip
else
off
do
this one slice, I will steady the rest of the bread with
It
my
was like
hand.
it was both primal and
Yeah, primal's a great word.
it was just, and I knew that's where it was gonna go, but it really was great. It was great.
That's funny.
It's so funny that never crossed his mind, but that's what it's like. Yes, it's not just parents play, it's parents dine, it's parents everything. My dad is like that wherever he goes and whatever he does. So always an adventure with him. But anyway, going back to Cuisinier, it comes out January 28th, 2025. So if you're playing that game, make the food appropriately. And if people complain, do it over. Metal Slug Tactics, we got another look at, something we already knew, due out fall 2024. Europa got the release date of October 11th. It's a 3D action platformer. Imagine Zelda without enemies and a focus on puzzles and exploration. If that sounds good to you, I got great news. There's a demo available right now. You don't have to wait until October 11th. You can give the game a shot today.
Europa.
This was leaked before, at least part of this was leaked before the Direct and then confirmed. If you were a Wii owner, you might remember the My Sims franchise, and two of those games from the Wii DS era, are coming back in one package. The My Sims Cozy Bundle. You get My Sims and My Sims Kingdom, both on the Switch in one package, exclusive to the Switch November 19th. So if you never played those games, or you miss them, or you want some kind of Sims action, you get two games, one package from EA, November 19th. I think it's a decent price. I want to say it's like 30 or 40 bucks. So there you go. We got another look at Civ 7. Again, we knew all about that. So coming out February 11th. Fitness Boxing 3, another game we knew was coming, but we didn't know the release date, December 5th. Goat Simulator 3. If you read GoNintendo, you would have known that we caught wind that this game was coming to Switch, even though it wasn't officially announced. Well, now we got the announcement. Goat Simulator 3 is coming to the Switch.
Goats 3? Goats 3?
Well done.
Trying
Coming to the Switch physically in November, but digitally right now. So if you want to play Goat Simulator 3 and you don't mind going with the eShop version, you can get it today.
Did I lock the door or did he come?
No, he's in.
He's in.
SpongeBob SquarePants, the Patrick Star game. Yet another game that was leaked beforehand. There he is. He made it.
Gary
He
Royce.
made it.
Yeah.
Sorry about the traffic.
Did he find the lava?
No.
Oh.
I
Ah.
wish Peter came.
Caramel big cup. Take a look.
I think have I had caramel?
Probably. I stopped because I was so late. I'm sorry I was late. I was at a restaurant waiting for the proper cook on my meat.
Yes.
Mhm.
Can you please get me my meat? I would like to throw up at the table now.
Also, I don't know. I want to watch you tear a slice of bread off of the loaf because I grabbed the loaf. Yeah, I don't care where the camera is.
People do. I told them the people need it.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I don't believe you. I think you would be mindful of everybody else.
No, I'm at a restaurant with people I'm, intimate with. I just like, how do you tear it off if you
You're
don't?
the
if
most
you don't
careful
how do you
person
tear it?
in
Thank
today's
you.
world.
How do you tear off?
You just walk to the door.
Slice
Stop
of
it.
bread.
If you're gonna tear, which you don't have to tear, you could take a knife to cut through. If you're gonna
No,
tear,
but you still have to hold it to cut it.
so
Take a
yeah,
napkin.
you take a napkin and put it in your hand, or you touch at
The
bare
napkin that
minimum.
I've
So,
been using on my
here's
At
the
bare
deal.
minimum, this one slice that you're gonna pull off, and the other slice it's connected to, and you pull them apart.
I'm gonna
That's it.
read the room generally first. Like if I'm gonna do something, if I'm gonna break bread.
She said, "Read the room, not leave." The
How
room.
about? Can we? All right, finish first. But
So I would probably, if I thought that it was people that would be okay with it.
People?
That's right. I would say, is everyone okay if I manhandle the bread? And then I would go ahead and manhandle the bread. If I thought it was people who wouldn't be comfortable with it, I think I'd make a point of being like, I'm just going to use my napkin so I don't have to like touch everybody. Like, so I can understand Raw Dad. Like it was family. That's the group of people. Like, it
But
just was
you're
very
giving
funny.
him so much
like, I'm
benefit of
not,
doubt. He's not reading
I
the room.
never-
He's thinking, "I want bread."
but I'm not knocking him.
I'm gonna
Oh,
think
yeah.
about it every single time from here on out. But
No,
I've
there's
never-
a
Dude is
difference-
so
there's
right.
a
Really
difference
thought about it.
between how they described him breaking this bread and how you would just take a piece of bread.
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, we'd all have
Well-
to take it and we'd all have to break it,
It-
but we're not going to finger every piece
You
and
might
have
keep
touched
our
the second
forearm
one.
on the rest
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
bread while
that's
we do
exactly what it was
I
like.
mean, I don't know if I'm going to be ginger with it. I'm just going to. But can we normalize that if whenever
We're
we're
not
out
normalizing
together,
anything my dad does. No.
whenever we're out together, like I'll grab this slice, and everyone who wants a piece, put your finger on the slice, and we'll all pull together.
No, I will not normalize that.
Well, then I'm
You
handling
can maybe
everything.
everybody else will. Oh, I can just remove myself from the bread situation, but maybe everybody else will join. I don't hear anybody.
I don't want to wishbone the bread. All right. I need that.
Oh,
I
that's
need
so-
where it's not cut. I need that crusty bottom. I need it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get it if we're wishboning it.
I know
You could.
people often think I speak in hyperbole, and I am genuine when I say it. Mom Brain, I need your backup here or your thoughts. This is some of the best bread I've ever had.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. So I'm not crazy. It's
delicious.
I
delicious.
think you've mentioned this place. I
Sounds
don't remember
great.
where it was.
Yeah, you know, it's by where my parents used to live.
Pizza Hut.
That's the place. Yeah, the breadsticks, and they bring them out in a loaf.
I got a
Kill someone
melt
for
the
that.
other day, and
Oh, Pizza Hut melt. Yes.
a Pizza Hut melt and an order of breadsticks for myself. And
I
it comes.
love it.
It just comes in a sheet. Like I was like,
Yes,
oh,
I know.
they didn't tear it or anything.
It's fine by
They
me.
don't want to handle the loaf, I guess.
That's very well. You know, you think. I mean, they have pizza cutters back there. You think it'd just be like a brr, 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 done, but
No.
they're like, no.
Sometimes also that just reminded me. I do take the loaf, especially if it's like a small loaf, like a baguette size loaf or whatever.
Mhm.
And instead of pull off the side, I grab the whole loaf and I take a bite of the end that I want and I tear it off that way.
You're eating by yourself.
My teeth.
Do whatever
we
you
don't
want.
have to tell everybody that part. I wanna make it sound like I'm out and about with people. That
We
I
were
love.
just out and about. We tried to get something and they were closed. We got that. Yeah, we got that. Can't get over how bad that Stranger Things
Yeah.
soap smelled.
Well, I have a hand sanitizer that it's actually, now that I've been using it, it's not that good.
We stopped at well, Nicky Hill wanted to stop at what he said was Bed Bath and Beyond, and in my head I was like, pretty sure those are all closed. He meant Bath and Body Works,
Bed Bath and Body Works.
but he wanted to go for the Stranger Things collection of soaps and hand sanitizers and whatever. And there was, what is it, Eddie's leather jacket or whatever. And I was like, that's interesting. I'll try it. And like I smelled the hand sanitizer, and I was like, it smells okay. And they had a test.
Oh, you smelled it.
They had to
The
test soap as
candle.
well. Oh, the candle,
and
yes.
then we pumped the soap because it was like tester.
They have the sinks there so
And
you
they
can
Yeah.
test out. So I washed my hands with it and I was like, let's give it a go. And I smelled it and I was like, this smells like vomit, like
Ugh.
straight up
To
vomit.
me, it smelled like, yes, there was a little bit of like, it's surprising how they get leather scent in things, I guess, but there was a little bit of leather scent, but was what I thought was overpowering was the 3 packs a day that it smelled like.
I was going to say, shouldn't it smell like weed or
It did
cigarettes
not
or something?
smell good is what
I
it
thought
was.
I like the candle, especially not lit, but I smell cigarette, like not just cigarette smoke, but like a house where they've been smoking
Stale,
cigarettes
yeah.
for like the last.
It
8
bothered me
years.
so much to the point that before we left the store, I grabbed a different tester of another soap that was like pumpkin pie or something. I was like, I have to wash my hands with this. I have to get this off my
to
hands.
cleanse the
It
palate.
smelled terrible.
But I bought the hand sanitizer, which is just called Upside Down, and I grabbed a bunch because school's starting, and I gave some to my girlfriend and her kids, and she was like, "Yeah, this smells like man."
Hmm.
And I used it yesterday, and I was like, "Wow, I'm sorry, I got you 5 of these,
No,
because,
you're
or
a
4 of these,
man.
because it really does smell like some version of Axe body spray."
Man, I don't know what people are buying this stuff, I guess, if they're marketing
It's,
this
I mean,
crap,
it's a
but-
cool idea. I just
It's
wish
a-
the
it's
scents were
It's a,
at least enjoyable.
men's scented Bath and Body Works
Yeah.
scent, but they all end up smelling like, teenage boy, which is just like overpowering.
Yeah.
Whatever
Body
musk.
Capcom Fighting Collection 2 was announced. This packs in 8 classic fighting games including Capcom versus SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001, Power Stone 2, Plasma Sword Nightmare of Blistine, and more. Featuring unique gameplay variety, blah, 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 blah. Multiplayer, online, all that jazz. Comes out on Switch 2025. Saw more about Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. That is due out September 12th digitally, November 22nd physically. We already knew about this, but now I got the release date. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake coming out November 14th. It's available to pre-order now. It's an HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest III. I am chomping at the bit for this because while I don't like remakes, I've never played this one, and it stays very true to the original, although it has pixel graphics, but in HD 2D form, so it hits the sweet spot for me. I'm there. I'm all about it. Castlevania Dominus Collection, as we already said. Once again, it includes a Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of, as the guy said it in the Nintendo Direct, Ecclesia.
Oh,
So there you go.
Ecclesia.
And it also includes Haunted Castle, the arcade game that started it all for Castlevania. So there you go.
I
Available
think
right now digitally.
That section of there's a section of the Bible. It's like Ecclesiastes or something.
That's
right?
true.
Also,
Also,
everything. Somebody reads from that at weddings. That's usually a wedding.
Yeah.
sure.
So everything there's a season. And
Also,
Is that
Castlevania.
weddings or funerals?
Both. They're the same thing.
Turn.
Ooh.
Castlevania Dominus Collection is available digitally, but if you want a physical copy, Limited Run Games is offering one. I believe they've only shown a standard edition, but they might have something more than that. I don't remember, but at the very least, if you want physical, it is going to happen. This is awesome. I could not be more excited about this. Digital Eclipse has been doing basically video game collections. I don't know how to describe this. It's like a historical look at certain franchises. Like they did Karateka, and they did another one that I'm forgetting. It just came out, and that's terrible. But they're treating like these games by these notable franchises by collecting them into a new package with like documentaries and literature and behind the scenes looks at them and everything like that. And they're doing that for Tetris because it's the 40th anniversary of Tetris. I could not be more excited for this. It is it's called Tetris Forever. It includes the 1988 Famicom version of Tetris, which I've never played. It includes Tetris 2 plus Bombless, which I've never played. It includes Tetris Battle Gaiden, which I have played, and others. But that's not all. It includes a brand new Tetris experience called Tetris Time Warp, where you'll jump between gameplay styles from across the series. Also, it features all new documentary videos, digital artifacts, an interactive timeline, and more. Such a cool idea. If you're a Tetris fan, this is a must-have. I really cannot wait for this collection. A really cool idea. Digital Eclipse has been knocking it out of the park with these collections. So really nice to see. Tetris is more than deserving of this kind of like package. So really excited about this. It comes out just 2024. We don't know the date yet.
When they announced this, they pronounced it Tetris, actually.
Oh my God, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. And yes, if you were worried, don't worry. Hatris is included in
That
this
was a
collection.
really great story.
Thank you, Josh. On top of that, that wasn't the only Tetris news because the NES version of Tetris is coming to Switch Online later this winter. Does that mean 2024, 2025? I don't know. But if
Does
you,
it mean it's free? No, sorry,
additional
Josh,
cost.
but it is at no additional cost.
unless you
Oh.
get another game that includes at no additional cost 3 free months of Switch Online, or you have coins or
I'm lost
platinum
now.
points. If you have a My Nintendo account
Yeah.
and you have gold points, you can use
Gold.
those to buy a free 1 month
Free.
trial of Switch Online.
If
So
you have Switch Online,
Yeah.
you can buy a free month trial.
no, if you have a My Nintendo account, I'm sorry. If you have a My Nintendo account, you get a free trial of Switch Online
Copy.
for gold points. So the NES version of Tetris is coming along to Switch Online, which is awesome. I love that version. Many hours spent playing that as a kid, not the Tengen version, the actual Nintendo version. And on top of that, a Tetris 99 Maximus Cup is on the way.
You said you didn't play the Famicom version. What's
is
the
correct.
difference?
They're like completely different visually, and they have some different modes too. Like they look very different.
When you
The Famicom version really
does
plays
it
up
still
to-
sound like
I don't know anything from it. Like it's all different. It's not the same music as far as I know. It's not the same anything. I believe the Famicom version really leans more heavily into the Russian aspects. Like it's got like the screen borders and all that have like a lot of Russian architecture and things like
Very
that.
nice.
It's closer to the PC version of Tetris, but yeah,
Game Boy
I'm down.
couldn't handle that.
I'm always down for Tetris, so I'm very excited. Really cool to see that. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 is a continuation of the VR outing. It's not VR on Switch, obviously. It's traditional, but coming out on Switch this holiday season. Also, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, the Ruin DLC. It's free story DLC for Security Breach. It's coming to Switch this holiday. We finally got in. Everybody knew this was coming to Switch, but for whatever reason, they were pretending like, oh, we don't know where it's going to go. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, the brand new Rune Factory game, was confirmed for Switch, and we also got a release date of spring 2025. A real big surprise, and boy, am I happy to see it, because I want to be petty.
Ooh.
Tom Petty,
Richard
no.
Petty.
Lori.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a roll.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I want to
Guys
look
are
up the
out of-
Sweat
comments. Man, I can't find it very quickly, and it's just going to be annoying. So,
No.
the Yakuza franchise is coming to the Switch. We're getting the very first installment of Yakuza, which is Yakuza Kiwami. It's coming to Switch October 24th. So you get to see how the what is now very popular franchise began. You might remember that Yakuza came to the Wii U, and then the guy who does Yakuza, the Yakuza series, was like, I'm very much paraphrasing. I'd like to find a quote, but it was like, not the right audience for the game. It's a bunch of kids over there, blah, 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 whatever. And he said that, and everybody's like, oh, what a jerk. And now we're not going to get any more of these games on Nintendo platforms. Well, he had to swallow his pride because it's coming over now. So that's great. I haven't played any of these games, and I feel like I've missed out on something really
Oh,
big.
you're not a kid.
And now I have a
no,
chance to join the kids and play it because it's coming out on Switch October 24th. So that's exciting. Atelier Yumiya, the brand new Atelier game, was announced. Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. This was the first we've seen of this game. The Atelier franchise got very popular in North America and Europe
Very.
on the Switch through Atelier
Ryza.
Thank you. You're
Ryza.
exactly right. 3 of those games came out on Switch along with the older games too. The franchise's popularity and reach has grown exponentially during the Switch's lifetime, and it's allowed them to do more brand new installments. So Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories, and The Envisioned Land comes out on Switch in early 2025.
This game does not have as much of an emphasis on thighs as the Ryza.
You know, I took a quick look at the trailer during the direct, and I haven't rewatched it yet. But yes, Ryza was all about the thighs.
We're back up to the chest on this one.
Oh yeah, I'll study it very closely later.
Because I remember watching it and just being like, why? Like, because it's the character has like a leather strap right above and below, so it's like
To accentuate.
it's like isolating. It's just like, this is excessive.
It's called fashion. Tales of
Not
Grace's
very demure.
F. That's right. Tales of Grace's F Remastered was announced. People have been asking for this game to leave its Wii prison ever since it was on the Wii. They were like, please bring this installment to other platforms. Well, they were working on it all along. Bandai Namco has confirmed Tales of Grace's F Remastered is coming to the Switch. Classic RPG returns with improved graphics, autosave feature, and more.
Tales of Grace's
It comes
Remastered.
out January 17th, 2025. Star Overdrive was shown. It's a timed exclusive on the Switch that comes out in 2025. Solve puzzles, fight formidable enemies, and wield the powers of the Keytar in this intergalactic adventure.
All right.
If only it starred that woman from that
The
amazing
Keytar
video.
lady.
Yep.
No, that's not that.
No,
No.
but Rock. That was Rachmaninoff.
That's the one.
Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered, Gate
Suikoden!
Rune,
No.
and Dunin Unification Wars. Again, these are games we knew were coming to Switch, where we had no idea when, and we weren't even sure they were going to get localized. Well, localization is happening. We are getting both games. They're coming out March 6th, 2025. Suikoden is one of the franchises I've heard RPG fans trumpet probably more than any other, and obviously I've never played them, so now I will have the chance to do so. I've always been curious to see what makes people really enjoy these RPGs so much.
I've played the one that they just put on the Switch not too long ago. Suika Game is the one that I played.
Oh, yes, the spin-off Suika Game with the Fruit RPG, yes. Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the first. This is the first Legends of Heroes game getting a remake that was announced during this Direct, and it's coming out 2025. Again, Falcom has found great success with the Legend of Heroes franchise during the Switch era because they brought many of the older games to Switch and they opened it up to a whole new audience because Falcom mostly put out their things on PlayStation. They decided to try Nintendo fans with the Switch, and it was of great benefit to them. They've seen the status of the franchise rise considerably higher. So they're like, okay, now's the time to do a remake of the first so people can see how everything started. And that's what you're getting on Switch. Boy, oh boy. As you know, I don't like re-releases. Not my thing. But there's always an exception to the rule. And for me, the exception is Worms Armageddon.
Oh, yeah.
Worms Armageddon was the first Worms game I played. It's a game that made me a lifelong Worms fan. I have such great memories of playing Worms with our friend Scott, actually. He's the one that introduced me to it. We played it on the N64. And I was like, I saw it and I was like, I'll play it, but this isn't going to be for me. And I became obsessed with it. I rented it the next day and then I ended up buying it. Like, so many hours on Worms Armageddon. We actually have a lot of friends who are into the Worms games as well. Well, Armageddon, which many people consider to be the best installment in the franchise, is getting an anniversary edition release on the Switch. I am so excited about this. You're getting the classic game. It also packs in the Game Boy Color version just for the hell of it. There's a whole bunch of extra stuff in there just for fun, but the classic game is, as it was all those years ago, adapted to widescreen. So no longer 4:3, it's 16:9. It's a remaster, not a remake, a remaster of the original. Comes out September 26th. Sign me up. I want to play the crap out of that. Random map, take me online, ninja rope, the old lady and the sheep bombs. I'm all about it. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for this.
That wasn't the first version.
It was not the first Worms game. No, it had been on PC for a number of years before that. I don't know how many installments before that, but Armageddon was like the breakout one for them.
I always remember the
yes, sir.
Like the Irish, like the sayings that they had, like their little accents and everything.
Yep. Man, just
I don't remember them vividly enough to recall any of them, but I do remember
I've
them.
I've played or bought every mainline Worms game since then, and there's been a lot of good ones. I even like the 3D one, but nothing has reached Armageddon for me, and I'm really excited.
We played the one. Was it on the Switch? We played it like online or something.
Yes, yes, and I mean, I played it on the DS. I played it everywhere.
Maybe we played on the Wii online. I don't know. I played it.
I mean, I played it everywhere. I remember playing it on the Dreamcast. Like I had
like
it on
online
everything
with each other. But in our own homes.
Yes, because it's a great game for online because it's turn-based and it's only one at a time. So it makes you don't even need good internet to play it. It just works out perfectly. Thanks, SD. We'll see you later. Have a good weekend. Stalker, Legends of the Zone trilogy. So if you haven't played the Stalker games or you have and you really like them, now you can get 3 of them in one package. Comes out on Switch November. Disney Dreamlight Valley is getting another update. It's not really, the game gets updates all the time. But this is the sadly named End of Summer update. Runs from September 4th to the 26th. Grab your binoculars and search the valley for specialty marshmallows to make tasty treats for exclusive rewards. Because we all know you can't have marshmallows any other time of the year. Once summer's over, you got to put them away.
I thought Stalker was a horror game.
I moved on to Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Quick.
And Stalker is a horror game. First-person horror. Have you played this?
No.
I think you would
is
like
that the
those.
one. There was a game that you were playing at your parents' house a long time ago on the PC, and it was like the first time that AI, like enemies were AI or something, and like they were actively chasing you. And
Probably Fear.
Was it? I don't know.
Or was it a horror game?
It was a military horror game. Yeah.
Fear. I'm going to stick with Fear.
Okay.
Yeah. It had some special stuff at the time that was new for games. Yeah.
Both are spelled out with periods. So
You are right. It is spelled out with periods.
Stalker and Fear. So who knows? But maybe it was just Fear.
Star Wars Hunter.
I thought Fear was the one that was the ghost one.
Fear has a little ghost girl, but it is military. You're like a SWAT team guy. Man, that's a game I played a lot on the
And the
PC. You played it
enemies-
at my
and
house
the
too.
en-
SWAT.
Scared. Oh, SWAT.
SWAT was a ton
That was
of fun.
fun.
SWAT was fun because you had to like go in and like handcuff the people and like make sure you didn't shoot civilians and like
Yeah,
people
that
would be
was
like
kinda fun.
hiding in closets and jump out a window. Man, that was a lot of fun. And my computer could barely run it, but I played it a lot. Star Wars Hunter has a new season starting September 26th. Brace yourselves for the newest challenger in the arena, Pillbush, the explosive Ewok. Lego Horizon Adventures, something we already knew about, comes out this holiday season. Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. Also, we knew about that. Holiday 2024. EA Sports FC 25. We don't need to talk about that. Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed, a faithful remake of the original Wii game coming out September 24th. If you're not sure if it's for you or not, there's a demo available now. Hands-On have said this rebrushed version fixes all the complaints that people had about the original. I've seen that across the board. So that's great news because that could have been a really good game, but the camera screwed it up and the controls were too wonky for platforming. It ruined it for me. It wasn't bad,
I
but
was
it
going to
really
ask
ruined it.
because I've been curious about Epic Mickey. I remember there was a lot of hype around it,
Tons.
around like Warren Spector.
Yep.
But then I was like, well, what did Warren Spector do? Like, I knew he did Deus Ex, and that was like a huge one. And that's what was driving the hype about this was like, oh, the guy that did. And then I was like, but what else did he do? And he didn't really do a whole lot of other like.
Well, Deus Ex was like a major like moment for the industry. It was like a very blending of genres we hadn't really
Right.
seen before. So really raised his profile. It was just surprising on top of that because you wouldn't expect him to go Deus Ex and now Epic Mickey. And then he talked about how big of a Disney fan he is, blah, 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 blah.
But then it ended up, it wasn't a huge Deus Ex sequel.
I mean, it's tough. I don't know. I don't know the
It
man.
had a lot of issues.
I think he had a lot of heart and he's had a grand vision for it, but I don't know. When you have a team that's used to making first person games and you go into a platformer, it's a different arena. I don't know if it's the right team to do it. But again, my understanding is the team that THQ Nordic has working on it, like really were like, these are the things that are broken with this game. If we fix this, it'll be what he envisioned. And seems, again, I have not played it. We could all play a demo now and find out, but hands-on impressions have been very good and very much pointed out that the issues people had back then have been taken out of this one. So that's great.
If only he was around to see it.
He is still alive.
Oh, great.
Funko Fusion Holiday 2024. If you're a Funko fan, this is you play a game where you're a Funko character, but you go through like all different properties. So it's like Chucky and
Intellectual
I don't know.
properties.
Yeah, not rental properties. I don't know what else is in it, but it's Funko. It's like a 3D action adventure based on Funko properties that
Which are
exist
everything.
outside. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what. All I can think of is Chucky for some
If
reason.
there's
It's pissing
anything
me
pop
off.
culture, there's a Funko about it, right? I mean,
They go
Almost.
above and beyond. Funko Fusion. Let's see what else is
there's
in
Harry
there.
Potter. There's, it's everything. So why can't I think of anything? Probably
Yeah, I know.
Evil Dead.
I'm going to read it right now. I'm on the Steam page.
There's like Last of Us Funko.
Jurassic World, Back to the Future, Jaws, The Thing, Chucky, Battlestar Galactica, Hot Fuzz, The Umbrella Academy, Five
Hot
Nights at
Fudge.
Freddy's, Masters of the Universe, Invincible, and many more. There you go.
Everything. That
Mega
ever
Man's in
existed.
it.
I mean, I can see there being a Shaun of the Dead one because he kind of has a uniform, but the Hot Fuzz one, I mean, I guess they have uniforms.
There's
technically,
probably
but
like, just I don't know why
They
I
do
thought of it.
everything Funko.
Yeah.
It's just if it exists,
Everything
there's
Marvel,
the Funko.
right?
Everything.
I feel like even there's probably
Mario?
like a Glass and Unbreakable.
okay, so not
Funko.
everything.
I don't know.
Simpsons.
Yes.
Okay, well, Nintendo. Back to
There are Nintendo. You know what? Let's see. There's Pokemon. There's plenty of Pokemon.
well,
At some point, I think people were like,
yeah, there
expecting
aren't
them-
any Mario Funkos. I had to double check on that, but there is Pokemon.
I think
The
people were
money.
expecting them to
Sonic.
be like the new Beanie Baby,
They're
and
not
they've
stopping.
never. They don't stop making them, but they're not.
They've certainly been popular longer than Beanie Babies.
But
They
they're
never
not really
reached
like
the,
reaching that resale value.
well, there
or
are
anything, right?
ones
Some of them are.
that are very high, but yes, for the amount that they put out, it's insane. There's that guy who's in the Guinness World Records book for most Funkos, and like it's like a giant
got
room
2
filled to
dozen.
the brim, and the man, the look on the man's face was like, I've made a terrible decision getting into this, because they
He
put out
can't
like
stop. Yeah.
50 new Funko every month or
Yeah.
something. It's
Oh,
like
there's-
insanity.
Yeah, there's like, and all the variations, like the Nightmare
Yeah,
Before Christmas,
exactly.
and then there's the glow
San
in the
Diego,
dark Nightmare
San
Before
Diego
Christmas.
Comic-Con exclusive Vision with
Those are
different
the
colored
ones.
eyes, or whatever.
Those are the ones that will collect a pretty penny. But
yes.
all the other ones, I don't know. They say, especially if they say collectible on it, you're kind of just getting like pulled into it.
Everything's collectible to somebody, but it doesn't mean it's valuable.
Right.
Just Dance 2025, October 15th. And there you go. That's your direct. Sticer says, solid direct. It was such a treat to have the indie direct finish and immediately go into the partner showcase. I'm excited to check out Peglin. Strangely enough, that game looks like it's going to scratch an itch for me. Yes,
And
Nicky.
Is it true that some of the Funkos, like
Is it
inside their
true?
heads, are smaller Funkos, or was that Cap?
That, I'm not a Funko expert, but I believe that was Cap.
Hmm.
Because it was just a way
I'm
for
such a
mean
sucker.
people to get other people to cut open their Funkos and ruin them.
Oh.
'Cause
Well, I
that's
mean,
the
don't do
way
it to
the
all
internet
of
works.
them, though, right?
If you got
I
a
mean,
double, cut one open, see what's in there. Sure. It's like people that are like, if you cut open the bottom of a Pringles can, there's a dipping sauce inside, and people believe
know,
it.
the
I've
one-
seen people do that with Ben and Jerry's.
Put a
Oh,
dipping
really?
sauce inside.
No, you
Put a Pringle inside.
you cut the bottom off and there's like an extra cookie in there or something.
Yeah.
I
Because companies would do that and spend all the money and not let anybody know they.
I
did
was
that.
very gullible about the Nutella one, where like underneath in the lid,
There's a
underneath the
spoon.
thing, there's a spoon.
There's not a spoon.
Well, because why are you gonna buy a jar of Nutella if you're not just gonna eat the whole thing?
You do
right
it
out of
like
the
my
jar?
dad, handfuls. Just put your hand in there. You eat everything by the hand.
That's nice.
So there you go. That's your double direct. Lots of stuff there. I don't want to say there's too much stuff, because there's no such thing as too much stuff, because it's great to have variety. But there is so much stuff. There's a lot. When I put together my list on Patreon of things that I was interested in, it was overflowing. And, I already got my list of stuff that's on my backlog. There's just so much, but great to have so many options and lots of exciting things on the horizon.
You got to put it out now before the new system comes out.
Well, yeah, they clearly well. I'm gonna say they don't feel a rush to put the new system out, because Switch is doing great and they got plenty of support now. But we were talking a few days. We were
Sales
talking
are dropping.
last week.
They're doomed.
We were talking last week, and you were like, "Would they do a direct before August ended?" And I was like, "They might. They first week of
because we only
September
had a
and
couple
August,
days, and
and
they squeaked it in
they
there.
did it." So people are like
two,
two.
not one, but
But Nintendo
It's
almost
two.
always does a direct in September, and they squeeze these two out in August, and people are like, they're getting ready. The Successor presentation is coming. Maybe.
But they have to announce it after they drop like Echoes of Wisdom and other big games. Right?
I would
Then-
imagine they, since they almost always do one in September, if they're going to wait until Echoes, that's the 26th. That's late.
hey,
I
they
don't
just did
know.
it in August.
But
But do you think people like sales could suffer if they
as
If
soon
a
as you
week
announce
before
a new
Echoes
system,
comes out.
sales start to considerably drop, and
That's
Nintendo
dirty.
knows this.
Even with this one, they're like, get all your pre-orders now. Like you could pre-order. This is available for pre-order starting today. This is available, and then people do all their pre-orders, and then a month later, they're like, oh, and guess what? A new system is coming out.
Why is
All
that
those-
dirty?
Because you just pre-ordered all these things for the Switch. You might want to buy them for the new system.
You don't even know if they're. Oh, you're saying if they announce that they're coming out for the new system?
I mean, I guess, yeah, on the butthead, but like, I don't know. Some of these games, are they really not going to be available on the new system in some way?
I would say the majority of them.
they would
yeah.
probably, knock on wood, hopefully play on the new
They
system.
could be backwards
Yeah.
compatible.
I
Yeah.
would hope so.
All the rumors point to it being backwards compatible. So there you go.
But
Lots
not
of
if
stuff.
it's digital, right? Or I guess you just
We
switch
don't know
over
for
your-
sure, but Nintendo has said plenty of times that My Nintendo is very crucial to what they're doing going forward. And My Nintendo has a log of every single thing you've bought digitally. So
Your Nintendo? No,
my
my
Nintendo does, not your Nintendo. So yeah, I mean, they're really
It was a
very,
very
clearly
specific press release.
they're very clearly hinting or indicating that there will be some option for digital people to get their digital content on
Oh,
the next
and
system.
so you don't move over your memory card. You have to re-download it for the new system, but it's like it's
You probably wouldn't move over your SD card. You would probably re-download what you want. You would piecemeal it, but you'd still have access to all of it. I don't know how many people would be like, I want everything right now on the new system. I'm sure there are people that want that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they know the
I've
vast
got at least
majority would be
45
like,
games that I have not played yet that I want to right
yeah,
now.
the vast majority of people are like this. It's gonna have backwards compatibility, or what? Why would they not add it? And then Nintendo's like, here's backwards compatibility, and they're like, thanks. And they get like 3 games from their collection and bring them over, and that's it. Like people just like to bitch. So, but there are people who will bring everything over. So we'll find out. I don't know. It's all speculation right now. But that was your double direct, a big one. Speaking of these
We'll
Switches,
just have to wait
that's right,
and
Josh.
see.
Wiser words have never been spoken. Speaking of the Switch's successor, Amazon Games says they're going to develop for the Switch successor. This is Amazon Games CEO Christoph Hartmann in an interview with IGN said, yeah, we obviously plan to develop games for it, the Switch's successor, and I can't wait for it to be out. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have them wait a year and get it perfect than rush it to the market, and then we all complain about what doesn't work.
Wait, this is
Mr.
Amazon
Hartman.
talking about what doesn't work in regards to Nintendo. I don't even get me started.
Mr. Hartman, you clearly don't know A, the internet, or B, gamers, because they're going to complain no matter what. Complaints are a given. Switch has been such a fantastic product. I can wait another year if I have to. And from development, I think most non-Nintendo developers are not exclusively doing titles for Switch. They're always part of a portfolio mix of platform mix. Just wait. So I didn't say what they're doing, but they're going to be there with some stuff. So hey, that's fine by me. More people making games for the Switch successor, not a bad thing by any means.
I don't know the logistics, so maybe you don't either. But doesn't Amazon own Lord of the Rings, the property, or is it just they own?
Yeah, I don't know what they
specific
do and
storyline
don't
or
own.
something.
Because there's Lord of the Rings games that Amazon's not involved with, so they might not have. They can't have any ties to interactive entertainment as far as ownership goes.
Oh,
But like maybe TV shows they do, and movies they don't. I don't know. It's clear they don't have all-encompassing Lord of the Rings. They have whatever lets them do TV shows. So
man, what
a racket!
What a racket, right? Like how much money they spend and they can't even do nothing good. Can't get nothing done.
Is that second season out?
Yeah, I think there's a few episodes out.
I thought it was getting good reviews. I'm not sure, but I thought it was being well reviewed.
Good for them.
You're not watching it?
Not yet.
You're waiting for everything to be out.
I might watch it later. I don't know. I don't want to be one of those guys, but I saw like a screenshot of something and I was just like, what is this? Why is this happening? So, I mean, I can deal with all the stuff they added in the first season, but this one image that I saw from the second season, I don't know, man.
Yeah, RoboCop was in it.
It's like a mommy orc and a baby orc. I don't know. I don't know if I can watch the show.
It's a perspective we haven't thought of.
I mean, there
yet,
have to
so-
be. I don't know diddly squat about Lord of the Rings, but there have to be mom and baby orcs, right?
I don't know if there are. I really don't.
They come out
I mean,
fully
it's
grown
magic.
orcs.
You don't know.
I think they're. Yeah,
Well,
I thought
I
they
mean,
were
let's be
like
honest.
corrupted
Born in the
elves.
lavas of the mountain or something like that.
J.R.R. Tolkien was kind of a hack. He wasn't really getting that in depth with the world to talk about mommy and baby orcs, right?
No, and we wanted it as readers. We were
Now you're getting
clamoring
it.
for it.
Where are the mommy baby orcs?
I can't wait
Where
for
are the
those
family
games.
values, Tolkien?
Yeah,
Come
That's
on,
that's
big
the kind of game we need, like a mommy orc simulator or something.
Well, there are some, but I don't think in the way that you mean, mommy. Splatoon 3 has been the focus of a takedown by Nintendo because somebody who content creates on YouTube and makes videos about Splatoon 3 made one that Nintendo wasn't too happy about. This content creator called Leora Channel. I think they have like 250,000, 300,000 followers. They make
Channel's the
successful
last name?
videos. The name of their channel is Leora Channel. they make videos about Splatoon 3 and Splatoon in general, and normally they're just, gameplay or whatever, content for everybody. But they did one where they interviewed what they called Splatoon girls. And they talked to these girls about their dating habits.
Splat girls.
And
Wait, no,
they, they talked to these Splat girls.
I didn't mean that.
And these girls were mentioning how they were dating other high-profile Splatoon 3 players. And how apparently it's a thing where they all just kind of have casual sex with each other.
Okay.
So this was discussed in the video. And you know what? That's fine to discuss in the video. You can make whatever kind of video you want. But obviously, Nintendo doesn't like that kind of thing. And they don't want kids to tune into a Splatoon video and hear about the sex habits of the players. So obviously, there can't be any monetization there, or there's a whole bunch of things, but Nintendo just doesn't like it. They got in touch with the channel and they were like, "Hey, it's a no-go on this video. Take that down." And the creator took it down and said that Nintendo found the video to be, quote, unacceptable, end quote. And the creator said they will steer away from having sexual-related content in their Splatoon videos going forward. So, sorry guys, you're gonna have to stick with Rule 34. No more YouTube stuff for your Splatoon sexual content. But Nintendo's watching everybody. They're always keeping a watchful eye on what people are doing with their IP. SD Sick Hero said, "Oh, okay. I thought it would have been something tentacle related. Nope, not this time. Just regular people playing Splatoon." Nintendo did not like what was being talked about. We're gonna skip that. Moving on. If you have a Switch Online account, which Nicky Hill does, Deux does, I do. Mom Brain is in on mine. If you're a Switch Online account member, from August 28th to September 3rd, at no additional cost, you can play Minecraft Dungeons, the entire game. Play it all you want. And if you don't get to spend as much time as you'd like after the free trial, you can still buy the full game at a discounted price, and your save data crosses over. So no worries. And also, Switch Online members can complete a mission and earn 100 platinum points as well. So a little bonus, a full game at no additional cost, a discounted price for a sale. It's all there, people. Go get your Minecraft Dungeons if you have.
We had our fun with that. That wasn't a bad little game.
I liked it. We definitely had fun. North America. Did we finish it?
No.
I know DLC came out too. Free DLC. North America, what do we got? Let me tell you. We got Emio, the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club.
Emio.
Gundam Breaker 4, Witch Spring R, Pizza Tower, Balatro, Friends of Jimbo DLC, Peglin, Castlevania Dominus Collection, Pico Park 2, Goat Simulator 3, Animal Tower Battle, Arcade Archives, The Ninja Kids, Bakadu, comes out September 3rd, we're almost there. Banana Tap. All right. Bed Rotting.
I looked at that.
Oh, yeah? What's
Yeah,
it about?
I'm not sure.
I gotta look then.
You're like a girl who's been in like an accident or something and has to like survive in bed without like going insane. And
Oh, I want to see it.
Bed
It sounds
rotting.
like that it's made by the guy that did the like that Get Over the Mountain.
And it funny. That's
Yeah.
the second time that was mentioned today. Crazy. Before the Dawn, Billy's Game Show, Bubble Blaster DX, Can of Wormholes, Date Z, Depths of Sanity, Dice Make 10, Doraemon Dorayaki Shop Story, the PC-88 Mark II version of Star Trader and Xanadu Scenario,
Back Xanadu.
Find Room 96 and Exit Station 7
There it is.
and the eerie surroundings and High Score Anomaly Shop and High Score Anomaly Underground. All those together in one bundle. Fly. Forest Fields and Fortresses. Fragrance Story and Papayas Path. Good for that developer. They're a small indie developer. They put Fragrance Story out on 3DS right before the 3DS shop closed, and they promised people they were going to do an extensive DLC to completely finish the game and put it out for free, and they did. So good on them. Now you can't buy it on the 3DS because the 3DS eShop is closed, but they put it over on Switch. I had a nice chat with the developer this week. They reached out. I had no idea. They're a fan of GoNintendo. We talked about the games. I talked about a whole bunch of stuff. It's really cool conversation. I'm very excited to play this. I thought it was awesome that it came to Switch. So if you missed it on 3DS, now you can try it on Switch.
Wonderful.
Fruit Attack. Gory, Cuddly Carnage. There's a demo for that too. Grand Prix Formula 1. Helix Fruit Jump. Whole I.O. and Helix Jump.
Whole I.O.
Holy Hunt.
Holy Hunt.
Infinite Seek and Find. Island Survival. Craft, Build, Grow. Kamitsubaki City Ensemble. Koi Koi Japan. We saw Koi Koi in a pond. Leo, the Firefighter Cat. Marble Abduction, Paddy Hatu. MFC, the Midnight Fight Club. Mining Mechs. Monster Jam Showdown. And yes, that is the monster trucks, people. Ninja 1 and 2. Operation Polygon Storm.
Ninja 1 and 2.
No idea.
Nothing.
I'll look it up. Panic Ball. Perfect Cat Mansion.
But there's no way it would be.
It's not Ninja Gaiden.
But there's no way it would be like a game called Ninja from the Commodore 64 without them saying like this was on the Commodore 64.
You are probably right, but that is already on the Switch.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh man, I gotta check that out. I love that game.
Pool Together Bundle. Perfect Rescue. Q2 Humanity. Quick Wits. Ruthless Carnage Hotline. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. Looks excellent, by the way. Survivor Heroes. The Backrooms Survival. The Knight's Path. U-Boat Attack. Oh boy. Umamusume. Pretty Derby. Party Dash. It's like a derby game, except instead of horses, it's girls, and they compete in physical fitness things like we did in school. It's like a run and all that stuff, whatever it is.
Oh,
What's the one where
Umamusume.
you run back and forth and you feel like you're going to puke?
Relay races?
Suicides.
Well, they're not
Suicide,
called
yeah.
that now, but yeah.
Shuttle.
Oh, they're
whatever.
not called
Shuttle
that
Run.
I guess they can't be.
Valfaris, Mecha Therion. Voltaire, the Vegan Vampire. And finally, World War Fury Wave. Comment from The Shape. The Dominus Collection isn't bad value for 3 solid DS Castlevania games. Jonathan, Charlotte. You are right on, my friend. Josh, if you would, and I will continue my tradition of going to pee.
What are the
Second
next
time?
European masterpieces?
No.
Let's find out
First.
with Nicky's sweet releases.
Thanks, Josh.
Sometimes I have trouble locating your music, so I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries. It's the last week of August. Can you believe August has come to a close? Unreal.
Goodbye, August. It's winter.
Okay. Yeah. August 29th, the week of August 29th, the year of our Lord 2024 in Europe, coming out. It's another long list. I'll try to get through it. MEO, The Smiling Man. That's the Famicom Detective Club game. Goat Simulator 3. Gory, Cuddly Carnage. Monster Jam Showdown. I think Rawmeat said that's the monster trucks, but it could also potentially be something to put on a peanut butter sandwich. I don't know. Monster Jam Showdown. Let's somebody check it out.
If only someone were here to
Yeah.
tell us the truth.
If only there was a place on the internet to find this information. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn, Witch Spring R, Animal Tower Battle, Bubble Blaster DX,
Blast those bubbles.
Can of Wormholes. Blast those wormholes. Am I right? You just blasted your own wormhole, did you not?
It's true.
Castlevania Dominus Collection. Crypt Custodian. Depths of Sanity. Dice Make 10.
Dice make 10.
Doraemon Dorayaki Shop Story.
Doraemon.
Ichi memories. Eki memories. I don't know. Somebody.
You're the hentai correspondent. You don't know that one?
That's hentai.
We already described this to you. We went through the same conversation. You don't remember?
Is
You don't have any etchy memories of this?
Is this the
conversation?
The exercises?
It means like lewd or sexy or like pervy.
Egg console Xanadu scenario PC 8801 Mark II SR.
Bed rotting looks crazy.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for Europe, bed rotting is not coming out this week. Maybe next week. Fly is coming out in Europe though. Fly.
Soon.
Fragrant Story and Papaya's Path. Grand Prix Formula 1. Gundam Breaker 4. Kimitsubaki City Ensemble. Koi Japan. We saw Koi the other day in a pond. Leo the Firefighter Cat. Leo goes and gets firefighters out of trees. Right? He rescues.
Oh, is that what he does?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cat in a firefighter suit.
or
That's
maybe
all I
just
saw in the
rescues
press
people
release.
out of trees. Yeah.
Is he a white cat with black spots?
I don't think he was.
Lost in
No.
Heart of Chernobyl Survival.
Get the spray paint.
Marble Abduction. Patihatu.
I stole my marbles.
Ninja 1 and 2. Nower. Play with your food. Nower. Later.
Two.
More. Oh,
Okay.
it's a tabby.
Eerie.
Panic Ball. Perfect Cat Mansion. Peglin. Pico Park 2. Pixel Retro Drift. Arcade car racing. Pizza Tower. Pool Together Bundle. What is that? Swimming pool? Billiards pool?
P-O-L.
P-O-O-L.
I don't know. Maybe it's both. I'll look it up.
Pool yourself together, man.
Pool together what?
Bundle. We're heavy on this cat pun stuff. Perfect Cat Mansion and Perfect Rescue. Q2 Humanity. Quack Jump. Quick
It's
Wits.
shooting pool. It's not swimming pool.
Okay. Quick Wits. Shadowblade Night Symphony. Soko Penguin. Sugoi Girls.
Sugoi!
Sassy Heroine. Supermarket Manager Simulator. Thermonuclear. Underground Station. Valfaris. Mechatherion. And Voltaire, the Vegan Vampire. We
Is
have
there a comment?
one comment from Steister. Steister says, Nicky, give us those sweet releases in the only way in the way that only you can.
You got it, Steister. There you go. It was perfect. We're going to skip that last top story. There was a new trailer for Zelda that showed off a brand new mechanic. We will not talk about it as we don't want to spoil it for people if you want to go in blind, but it's a brand new mechanic you haven't seen so far.
So exciting.
That's that. Mom Brain, what have you been playing?
Penny and Float.
How's it go?
Great.
The end?
Yep.
Okay. Nikki Hill.
Tetris, Little Solitaire, and things I don't think I can talk about.
Yeah, you can
Oh.
talk.
You
You,
can
can
talk
say
about 'em.
that we did it. We play, like I already said, we played Echoes of Wisdom and we
Echoes of
played
Wisdom.
Super Mario Party Jamboree, but we can't say anything else. The end.
I played those both.
Okay. Would you like to talk more about what you can talk about?
Solitaire, it's riveting.
Okay.
What else can I talk about?
I was
Did you-
asking.
Did you finish the MEO Demio?
I didn't get to go back to it, no, because frankly, I'm scared. And the only time that I had this week to play it, the internet that I was trying to connect to, I couldn't connect, and I couldn't it wouldn't download the second chapter for me.
More like the frowning man, am I right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
because you didn't get his MEO's pizza.
And you know what happens when you frown around the smiling man.
That's right.
So yeah,
Sure.
yeah, that's what it is, right? Can I?
I mean,
talk
that's
about-
what
I can
the
talk about
that's what
that.
the
That's
urban
it says.
legend says.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's just a legend.
Well, we don't know.
So that's all. I don't know what else you want me to talk about. Dude, what have you been playing?
Cuckoo. Animal Crossing New Horizon. Guess who remembered the fireworks show last week?
That was the last of the year season. Whatever?
Yeah, the last of, I guess, the summer. But it was nice. They even do like I stayed till midnight, and that's. I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't there all night long. Like I popped in at like 11:45, but I stayed till midnight, and they even had like a finale, a fireworks finale, and you can
These are for us.
Yeah. No, I wanted you all to look at it.
just look at the picture.
You want me to go get a knife?
No, it's just me and you splitting one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was leaving the other one for you guys.
Oh,
Oh, I
There's
thought it
two
was
in it.
one big piece.
That's
There's
why I
two.
asked if you wanted to get a knife.
Yeah, but it was, it was fun. It's a nice little thing. Animal Crossing is always like cute and nice. You could, I might have mentioned this, but you can submit your designs, your artistic designs to Isabel, and she'll add them to the fireworks. So I've got the Murrayland, which is the name of my island. The Murrayland flag is a rat with a cowboy hat howling at the moon, and yeah,
Beautiful.
I put that in. I submitted that, and it was great to see like a firework go up with and then the like flag pops up with the rat hat cowboy. It was really funny. So yeah, it's a fun little ditty.
was there in that? Is there a Steve Harvey drone show in Animal Crossing as well?
I should have made a Steve Harvey, flag or something, but I didn't. But yeah, so you can do whatever you like. In Fortnite, played a little bit of Fortnite. Fortnite's still fun. I don't really have anything new to say about
Fortnite.
that. I played the rest of the MEO demo, which I guess I'll talk about with you, RMC,
Sure.
later.
Two chapters you got through? Two
Yeah,
extras?
it wasn't as long, I think, as I was expecting them to be. So
The last chapter was certainly shorter than I.
yeah, and they went quickly, and I was started to get into the story a little bit, so it wasn't as frustrating as the first two sections were. I played a little bit more of Planet of Lana as well. What a pretty game, real nice looking.
Yeah.
It looks like a painting. It's very beautiful, and
I don't know if I'm familiar.
yeah, it's a cinematic platformer, and you play as Lana. She doesn't speak English. None of the characters speak English, but you get the gist. So it's like the story is delivered very well through the visuals and through just I guess the animations of the characters and stuff like that. But I don't want to say it's a cookie cutter cinematic platformer. It's just I don't have much experience with cinematic platformers. I've played a handful. I like some and I don't like others. So it's not really a genre for me. It's taken me a long time to get the motivation to go through this game, just because I'm not really into cinematic platformers, but it's very nice and the music's nice, and yeah, I'm liking it. So I'm gonna keep playing it. I've got 10 more days left on my Game Pass, so we're gonna do it. But yeah, other than that, it was just the MEO demo. I was able to finish up chapter 3 and 4, or it was 2 and 3. Chapters 2 and 3. I was starting to like it a little bit better. I think because at the point of starting chapter 2, I knew how the game worked at that point, but I also just set aside my like annoyances with like the characters and how like the dialogue was and things like that. And once I kind of knew what I was able to do and what I wasn't able to do, I ended up liking it a little bit better. I'm interested in the story and where it's going to go. Not enough to buy it personally, but I think if anybody's ever tried out a game like this, I think they would really and have liked it. I think you'd like this game. For me personally, it still has like tonal issues, and there's still, certain things that I wish I could, like questions that I wish I could ask that aren't there and aren't possible.
Did you do well with the puzzle?
I did really well with the puzzles.
tests. or
Oh, this
whatever?
is great. Is this the last thing you're talking about that you played?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about it together. When you, we're going
Let's
to talk
go.
about it together.
Okay.
Let's go.
When you were at the bus stop and the bus
Well,
and the bus
spoiler.
wasn't coming, what did you did you use the phone?
My battery was dead on the phone.
Okay,
I tried using it, but the battery was dead.
so you
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. There was a little bit of battery
Yes,
left, and you
yes.
could make a phone call or not, and I
Yes.
chose not to.
Oh, you did. Okay,
I
damn
chose
it, we
not
did
to
the
and-
same thing.
In case
I want to know what
maybe-
happens if you go to make the phone call, because I was like, I'm not going to make the phone call and see if I can stick it out, and then that taxi eventually shows up, and I was like, I
I
still
have
want
a
to know who
feeling
sent
you
the
go
taxi.
to
but
to make a phone call and your phone dies.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I honestly don't know. It doesn't seem to matter because like somebody comes and picks you up anyway, like out of nowhere. So it was kind of, it is what it is. Like I've got my problems with it.
Well,
and
I think
just,
as far as somebody coming to pick you up out of nowhere, you're supposed to wonder who did it, and I'm sure at some point we'll find out like who's behind this stuff. But yeah, I want to know what happens if you go to make the call. If like the same thing happens, or you get
Well,
a different line of dialogue, or
at the moment when you said you had to type in somebody's name,
yes,
did you get that wrong?
I don't know that there's why. What they say to you? I didn't.
He was like, exactly right. Glad you're paying attention is what he told me, something like along those lines. And I remember you said he was like, oh, that is right, but have you thought of this
Yeah,
or
that's
something?
what he said to me. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that that kind of bugs me because it's like there's no consequences whether you get it right or wrong. It doesn't seem like maybe later there will be, but there's
I don't think it should be thought of as a game where there are consequences. I think it's like just a narrative adventure where you're finding your way through it. It's not like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to die or somebody will get killed or
Right.
something like that. It's more like you're just creating parts of the story as you go. And I'm just curious what other branches there are that by what I've said or the decisions I've made that, change things. So again, I want to know what happens if you do make the phone call, if the phone call goes right through and the same guy shows up, or if it's something else.
yeah, I don't know. When I got back to the office, I went to the phone and he was like, oh yeah, I got to remember to plug this in. So
Yes.
like I was thinking, because I didn't do that the previous day and my phone was dead that last day. So I was like, I wonder if I like on the second day, if I had plugged my
Yeah.
phone in, if it would have charged it. Probably not, since you and I are
Yeah.
both, talking about, how our phones were almost dead. But yeah, I almost wish I could have started the game knowing that it was a visual novel. Now I know you've said visual novel 100 times when talking about this game,
Mhm.
but I was still thinking I'm making choices. I'm moving around a microfiche or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
microscope, or magnifying glass. I'm choosing to talk at these people. I'm choosing to look at like the policewoman's breasts and have her say, my eyes are up here. And that was another thing. You kept being like, oh, you're going to find so much out about the policewoman. You meant the policewoman in charge. You didn't mean the policewoman that was being like sexually lewded at the entire time that he and I were talking about.
Who are you
So-
talking
Well,
about?
The one who made the tea for you that didn't even have a name, that
Oh.
you somehow knew the main character and was like,
I-
oh, you've grown up. And it was like, what is happening?
No, yeah, I was talking about the other woman. I'm sorry.
I think I followed him on that too.
I followed him, but I didn't want to say
There's-
anything
I
because
mean,
I
you're
hadn't read the
probably-
next chapters, and I was
Listen.
like, I know he's not talking about the tea cop. I
It's
just
a-
know it.
It's a demo. It's a
It's
teaser.
a Demio.
It's a demio, and especially that that relationship there. That's what people are going to keep playing for. They don't want to give it all away in the demio.
well, I have to say, I don't think it's bad. I was starting to get
I think
into
it's
it
horrible.
once I realized what type of a game it was. then I was like really moving through it, because remember we were having trouble with how many times do I have to click and ask the questions. Now I knew that was a thing, so I just kept asking the questions, kept looking at the notebook, kept thinking, and like, it didn't bother me as much because I was starting to get information from characters, and I was like, I'm interested in the information I'm getting, so I'm finally like getting some balls rolling here. Whereas I was really frustrated in the beginning when it was like drips and drabs of information and the gameplay was kind of not what I expected. So once I got used to it, I ended up kind of liking it, and I think it's for what they're going for the type of game it is. I think it's going to be a good one. It's not one for me to spend my money on to play the full version, but I wouldn't rule it out for others.
And I didn't play the rest of the demo, but so take this information for what it is. But I think the part in the demo where you go to the red light district, like that gets really interesting.
Nicky Hill's lying, everybody.
Yeah, we never got there.
So I didn't play
Unless
it.
you
but
made a decision that we
learned.
didn't, and it took you there. I don't know. We went to a retirement home. I don't think that's the red light district.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I played through the demo too.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I-
And I'm very intrigued on what's going on, and I'm eager to learn more. I have the full game. I just haven't had a chance to play the next chapter yet. But yeah, I'm happy. What's up?
No, I didn't realize it's stamped and like you're pulling from underneath, and I don't want to mess up the letters in there. It's pretty.
You don't. Nicky Hill's talking about the therapy dough that I have.
It's perfect.
Take it from anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
See, all right, I'll take out
No.
a blob for you.
No,
then it's
I don't
safe.
want to touch something that you've touched. We're done.
Why do you make everything such a thing?
It's not a thing.
You can take it from wherever you
I don't
want,
care.
or I can get it from you.
I just didn't know that. I didn't realize it was stamped, and you were
It doesn't matter. How about,
preserving. it.
okay, it's mine. Listen to me. I don't care. You can take whatever you want from wherever you want.
Listen, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't care. It's your therapy dough, and clearly you need it, pal. And I do too, but I'll get my own. Oh, he's gone. He left.
Oh, no.
Thanks for watching. Thanks
Good
for
luck.
listening.
Good luck driving away. I'm blocking your car. Oh wait, you don't drive. Got him.
It's a rumor, right? It's a rumor that he's leaving. It's not true.
Oh, there we go. You got a
Here.
personal
Oh.
pinch me that you can pinch.
Ew, it sounds so.
Got him.
I don't like.
me Got guess. him.
It's still there. That's
That's
so funny.
I got Nicky Hill a different
so
therapy dough, but it's
funny.
also around the stand. Yes, you can take whatever you want. You want the one my parents got? That has no stamp, and I've just been pulling at it.
Let's just
Hmm.
keep talking about games.
Okay, go ahead.
I got nothing because I'm
Okay,
done already.
excellent.
I suggest because you felt, if I'm not mistaken, very similar to me after the
I want
last
to go
week.
back and
I
got-
suggest you finish it. It definitely got a
Yeah,
little
you got the
better,
2 more
it's a
demo
book
chapters
club.
you can
I'm
do.
sorry I didn't read it on time.
but it's yeah. It is what it is. I stand by
It's what it.
I stand by my criticisms of it, but apparently this is how the game is supposed to be. So
Did you have more opportunities to see that police officer woman?
no,
Oh, so you didn't even get to go back and look at her chest.
we don't know what her name is. She knows me.
I know that's embarrassing.
She watched me grow up. We know her from a previous storyline, apparently, and we don't even know her name, but we know she makes a heck of a cup of tea.
What if?
And
I mean, again, I haven't played the game enough. What if it's not the smiling man at all? What if it's the smiling woman?
well, she'd be justified with her anger at no one knowing her name.
SD, that's exactly what I was thinking.
What, that word?
No, SD said, wasn't it Nicky's idea to do the book club? When
I
It
know,
was.
and I apologize. It was a rough week. It was very busy for me. I had all intentions of playing on Tuesday, but I had other things come up.
I played on. What are you talking about? How did I play then?
You played it before Tuesday.
Yeah.
I got other things, man.
Okay. Well,
I'm glad I played it.
if you do play the other parts of the demo, I would be curious. Hearing what your thoughts are. But yeah,
Not a big reader.
I'm very interested in where the story goes. I was interested before. There's a whole bunch more questions now, especially I'd say more so after chapter. No, yeah. Well, chapter 2 and chapter 3 bring up like a lot of questions and some more characters where you're like, what's going on here? What's this all about? So I'm very interested to learn more.
The way the way, at least for me, it was the story was unfolding was particularly addictive. I found that chapter 2 and 3 I finished in one sitting, and I was eager to do so. And chapter 2 made me skeptical of certain characters, and then chapter 3 kind of made me feel better about those characters, but then also, opened up more questions too.
You think we both think it's the old lady, right?
No, I was gonna say somebody else, but
I could say it. It's all demo talk right now.
I haven't put it together yet.
Yeah, I got people I'm suspicious of, but nowhere I'm like, oh, they definitely did it. But come on, the old lady's wearing the purple shirt and she's got the flowers there, and she's talking about how the eggplant flowers and the whole story. I'm like, come on, lady.
Yeah,
you'd be perfect. You're in
the
a retirement home. They think you can't do anything. You're sneaking out at night and killing
the
people.
neighbor is growing all those eggplants, and he's just giving away like tons of eggplants. I didn't trust that at all.
What's the fancy
grow
name?
like crazy.
What's the fancy name for?
You should have told me.
Aubergine.
Aubergine, yeah.
The aubergine man.
Yeah, the aubergine man. And I know he hired me, but I don't trust Itagaki or whatever his name is. Itsugi. The detective agency guy.
I
don't trust him.
Something about
I felt
him,
weird with him in the very first chapter.
Something about him. I agree.
I hope that it's not that though, just because like that's just too expected. Kind of like
I have a feeling. I don't know who it's going to be, to tell you the truth, but I have a feeling the game's going to be more about like relationships and trauma than it is going to be like, and I'm the killer. Like I think it's supposed to be more about thinking about the connections with people. I'm sure you will find out who.
So you're going to find out that the killer is related to you. It's all about
the killer was in all of us all along.
Mm.
Well, if somebody starts choking on an eggplant, then we know who it is. At least it's one of those two. So.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
and I don't trust Yumi's senpai either.
That guy, yeah, something's up with that guy. Definitely, the way he he's something's going on with him and that student. I don't know what it is, but the way he was acting, I was like, what's this all about? Him running out to give his phone number, that was fine. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's like hot for her or whatever. But the whole thing about acting weird when that girl's name came up, I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I want to know more. I wish the game was also free.
Yeah, I mean, I'd let you borrow mine, but I have digital and not physical. So
you can tell me what happens.
I will keep you abreast of the mystery. Is that it for you?
That's it for me. What have you been playing?
Keep you abreast, but you're gonna have to remember his name for it.
I played
looking at her.
MEO, obviously, and I don't need to talk more about that. I'm gonna play it more this week. I think I'm gonna like continue playing on the treadmill. That's where I played the whole thing. So one night when I don't have anything to watch, I'll play it at least a couple times a week.
Plus, you can like pretend like you're being followed by Emio, the smiling man.
I wish I could pretend that I didn't have a new episode of Sunny to watch and instead play the game, but
I've got 3 episodes to watch because I still haven't watched it, and it's like I don't.
Well, let me tell you, the most recent episode was the worst one. So it was very bad. You know, it's bad when it's like a half-hour episode and like 15 minutes in, I'm like, how much time we got left here?
Oh man, it's over, right? Is it all out or?
It can't be. Not the way with this episode ended. No, and it's like no.
So there's one more episode.
There's got to be one more. Yeah, it seems like one more would be the place.
You watch Only Murders?
I did, yes. Well, I have things I watched that I could talk about in the Aftershow. Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I did watch.
But right now, what have you been playing?
I played Fortnite. Not as much as I wanted to, but I played Fortnite and have been having fun. My official loadout in Fortnite is Striker Burst with a night vision scope, pervert cam. Sorry, with a pervert cam, an auto turret, and Captain America's shield. That's my loadout. No traversal.
Striker Burst, isn't
You
that
don't
the
even do a jetpack, huh?
No, this is my loadout, and I love it. It's really worked out for me. It's in my sweet. I miss having a traversal, but the jetpack isn't as much of a traversal as I would want, so I'm okay not having it. Like I might, depending on what I pick up along the game, I might have a jetpack because I didn't find whatever I wanted, or I'll keep some shockwaves on me. But if I can have what I want, it's Striker Burst, Captain America Shield, Auto Turret. That's
Wow.
what I'm down with. Yes, you're gonna say something?
I thought Striker Burst was the real name of the actor who played the best friend in Boy Meets World.
Ryder Strong
Oh.
and Striker Burst starring in. So yeah, I'm playing that, liking it. Seasons, there are some good people. We were in our prime with last season where we were like able to get away from people very quickly, and things were chaos with driving cars and just the fists punching around through the air. Like that was our kind of like that worked for us. Now we're very much back to a much more like strategic, focused, intense, not
Yeah.
chaotic season. So it's definitely more challenging, but I don't mind the challenge.
People are
It's
really
fun.
good. Yeah,
People are
I
very
get
good.
killed very, very quickly sometimes too.
You get a couple people with auto turrets and a Captain America shield, and you're cooked. It's hard to get away, but that's what makes it fun. So I played that. I also played Dungeons of Hinterberg. I got Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Justin Hinderberger or
it-
Thunderburger?
It is a game where you go to this town called Hinterberg, and it's like a tourist trap, but for dungeon crawling. So monsters and magic are part of this world, and people go to Hinterberg to like be a makeshift adventurer, and like they have guides that take you through dungeons to fight off monsters and cast magic spells and stuff, blah blah blah, blah. But you can do it on your own as well. So during the day, you go out and you find a dungeon or explore the landscape and find a dungeon and work your way through a dungeon. And you get a stamp at the end of the dungeon for your little tour guide book saying, like, I completed this dungeon. Then at night, you go back to town and you talk to people and you form relationships where, like, you talk to this scientist guy and he ups your stats in this thing, or talk to this photographer who's a real asshole and he ups your stats in this thing. And so far, rinse and repeat. It goes by in days. I'm on day 8 right now, or day 9. I have no interest in the social aspect. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't care about forming these relationships. It doesn't matter to me at all. Like, I have less than zero interest.
Is
in
that just a this game thing, or is that like
It's
a
all
kinda
games
like
for
an
me.
open world?
Like if
people?
it's a story-based game, yeah, that's what I'm going into. If I'm playing a dungeon crawler, no. If I'm playing a dungeon crawler, I just like, I don't want a relationship game. That's not what I want. You know, like even in Zelda or anything, side quests or anything, I'm like, I don't really care. But this is like, you know, go talk to these people multiple times to build a relationship, to boost stats and stuff like that. I'm like, so I'm not doing it. I'm being stubborn because I don't like doing it. I did the ones that made me do, and I'm like, this is what I thought it was going to be. It's not for me. Hello, Solomester Link. So that's whatever. And the dungeon crawling is, it's not bad, but it's like baby's first Zelda. It's like if somebody played a Zelda and they were like, this is what Zelda is like. And
You
you're
know,
like,
the first Zelda was kind of challenging.
it's like baby's first Ocarina of Time. How about that?
Okay.
You play it and you're like,
Water Temple was challenging.
you're like, yep, I'm pushing boxes and I'm climbing ladders and I'm fighting things. And yeah, like it's very paint by numbers. It's very uninspired. Like I haven't done a dungeon where I'm like, oh, that was fun. I've been like, oh yeah, ride the minecart, push the box, hit the lock.
We've played video games before.
It's very much like that. It's very much like this is a video game. And I'm like, So to use TikTok memes, I mean, it's all right, but it's not bad. It's not great. I think the reviews are inflated, but I'm only
Because
8
it's
days
been getting
in.
good reviews.
Not like amazing reviews, but people have been like, this is really good. It's just, I
The
don't
art
know.
style's
I've,
really cool.
I've done a whole bunch of dungeons and they're fine. They're not bad, but they're not anything where I would really remember them. And they're just,
Is there a game you can akin it to, or genre?
well, yeah, it's exact. I mean, the one chunk of it is exactly like Zelda. It's just eliminate all the story and everything and just put in dungeons. Like you just
Okay.
wander around a landscape and you find a dungeon and you go in. There's tour guides will be like, there's a dungeon over here and a dungeon over here, blah, 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 stuff like that. But, you know, I'm not out to explore the landscape because it's not truly open world. They're open spaces, but I just want to get to the dungeon and do the dungeon. So that's what I'm doing. And so maybe other people are getting more out of it because they're enjoying the relationship building aspects and they like that. And I don't care about that at all. So I find the dungeoning to be,
This is
in Peter Griffin
honeypot.
terms, uninspired and pedantic.
It insists upon it.
Yes. So not a bad game, but you know, I've played many games where the dungeon crawling was much more enjoyable. Obviously, plenty of Zelda games, but other games as well. So it's like Immortals, Phoenix Rising for me, where Ubisoft made that game. I was clearly inspired by Breath of the Wild, and you're like, it's okay, but Breath of the Wild was, you know, the pinnacle.
Just had that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, and this is like, it's okay, but this genre has many other examples that are like very good to great, not just Zelda, other games too. So
Yeah, dungeon crawlers are supposed to be addictive. You're supposed to want to keep going back.
I mean, there is a desire just to see the next dungeon. I'm all because the dungeon again, they're not bad and they're not boring. They're just very paint by numbers. But I have felt the pull to be like, there is a satisfaction to going in and clearing a dungeon. It's just, you know, not exciting or fun or memorable. Not fun, not memorable. There's nothing that really stands out. And the art style, actually, I don't like. With the art style, yeah, really irks me. I don't like the way it's done.
What don't I understand? Because I'm sure it's an animation thing.
No,
I just look at it and I'm just like, oh, it looks cool.
It's not how it's animated. It's just the visual style. I like cell shaded things, but the way this is done is like very, it's like muddied. I feel like if they just went with sharper, more defined colors and less like detail on things, it would look better. I don't know how to describe it. Just doesn't. I don't think it's ugly, but I'm like, again, I don't care about the graphics. I'll play no matter what it looks like, but I can say I just don't like the visual style, which is disappointing because in the trailers it did look nice, but when you're playing the game, it's like,
what system are you playing on?
Xbox Series X. I think it's only on X and S, maybe PC
really?
as well. I don't think it's on PlayStation. So yeah, it's not good. It's not great. It's not bad. It'll fill a couple days.
You're gonna finish it up?
Yeah, I'll finish it because I've there's 4 main portions of the game, and I've done almost all the dungeons in the first part, and I've explored the second part. So I'll stick with
You
it.
think
Like
you'll be able to do it without talking to characters?
That's the plan. I mean, you learn new moves and you level things up and you get new weapons and stuff, which is nice. And the other things you get from people are like, get another slot of health or get another stamina thing. And I'm like, whatever. I don't, I'm sure it'll come back to bite me in the ass in the end. Like I'll be on
stuff that would be
the final
easier,
dungeons and I'll have like 3 hearts and somebody, the boss is going to take me out with 1 hit. But it's the way I played the original Pokemon when it came out. I was like, well, I'm going to pick my starter Pokemon and that is it. And I 75% of the game I was fine. And I got to one part where I fought a gym leader who basically wasn't weak to the type of Pokemon I had. And I'd go to hit him and it would do 4 points of damage. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? I screwed myself. So I had to go buy a bunch of items to heal myself and protect myself. And I worked through it, but I was like, now I get why they want you to do other stuff. But have I changed? No, still going to do it. I'm talking about Dungeons of Hinterberg, Solamaster Link. Sorry, I just saw that. So there you go. I played that. And I am playing, Pingle? What's it called?
Pingle.
Penguin?
Pengle?
Pengle.
Peglin. So
we got there, guys.
Great job, everyone.
As I discussed earlier, if you are familiar with Peggle, then you know much of what's going on in Peglin. You shoot the ball into the play field, it bounces around on a whole bunch of things, and it falls out the bottom. But there's an RPG mechanic. So when you are in a stage, you have your little guy, and on the right-hand side are enemies. You bounce off the pegs with your ball, and each peg you hit gives you a certain amount of damage. And when the ball falls at the bottom, then your guy does his attack, and the number of the attack is based on the points you got from the pegs that you hit on the way down. There are different balls you can get that give you different abilities. Like they'll be stronger against certain enemy types, or they'll bounce more, or they'll do critical hits. All RPG stuff. So the game, unless I missed it, doesn't have a tutorial. It's just like right in. And I was at first like, this is fine because it's Peggle. How do you need Peggle explained to you? And then there's a few things where you're like, what does this mean? What does this do? I don't understand this. And like there's text boxes, but the way they explain things is like very like mechanical. And I'm like, what is this saying to me? What does this mean? And I fudged through it and I understand, but I was like, this could really serve from a tutorial or a better written series of text boxes here. Like I don't know, it's just too mechanical. Mom Brain, you will attest that Peggle is very fun and very addictive.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of that, I think, comes from the satisfaction of everything that's going on. The bounce of the ball, the sounds it makes, the way things light up. And this game doesn't really have that. The sound effects are lackluster. The bouncing just isn't as enjoyable.
It seems like it's very direct. It's not like
Yes.
as floaty as Peggle. then,
Yes, and it's not enjoyable, but I keep listen, if your game is going to be this close to Peggle, you have to at least match Peggle. Like it's got to feel like the fun aspects of Peggle, and it's not hitting that mark for me. It just this game feels like if you had a rough draft of a game and you finished your first rough draft build that could be played from beginning to end, and you'd like show it to a publisher, and they'd be like, oh, you really got something here. Now let's clean it up and let's spruce it up and let's throw in some bells and whistles and we could really have something here. But that's not what you get here. Like the text needs care, not just how it's written, but like the font as well. It's very odd. And like things that I think should have sound effects don't have sound effects, and animations animations are like stilted. It just feels like it needs more TLC. There is a fun, enjoyable game in there, and I really like the RPG mechanics of bouncing the ball off the pegs and building up hit points and all that stuff. Like that was really fun. I really did like that. But again, I can't not compare the game to Peggle, and Peggle just feels way more fun to play. If you could give me the RPG mechanics of this game and mix it with the gameplay of Peggle, how everything performs, sounds, comes across in Peggle, then you'd have a real big hit. Then I'd be like, this is awesome. I can't get enough of this. But right now, I just keep comparing it to Peggle, and Peggle does the core mechanics of this gameplay better. So it's disappointing because I was like really excited for this when I saw it, but it's
the game.
It's not fun, but it does make you wish it was more fun. It should be more fun. All the things are there. They need a consultant to be like, this needs a little more pizzazz over here, and this needs a little something, like a little spice this up over here. We need like the zoom in when the ball's getting close, and like it just needs like those little things. It's like a slot machine in a casino. Like they got bells and whistles and crazy lights and stuff to get you like to razzle dazzle you and get you involved. And this doesn't have like anything like that. It's just very cut and dry. And you're like, oh, it needs like to be amped up in the presentation here because it could really improve the experience, but it's not there. It's not there. So not a bad game. If I'm going to play either one and like it more, it's probably this game versus Dungeons of Hinterberg. So, but both disappointing in their own way. So for me, it's been the MEO Demio that's been really doing it for me, and Fortnite as always. So that's what I've been playing. Let's go into questions. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
goninpod@gmail.com.
Maybe I will.
It can be about Nintendo video games in general or whatever the hell you want. This week's question. PT, there are some pretty iconic spoilers that have made their way into pop culture. Some examples include spoiler warnings. They wrote that. Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father.
What?
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. Doesn't say a movie or a TV show or anything.
Oh,
Figure it
Die
out.
Hard?
Die Hard, yeah.
Wait,
The whole movie takes place in
It
purgatory.
can't be because
Die
it's called
Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah,
He hardly died.
Oh.
can't kill something that's already dead.
Snape kills Dumbledore. Famously shouted out the
Whoa.
night the book came out.
How awful.
Thanos wins. Well, he does for a bit. What are some of your favorite iconic video game spoilers, or more broadly, perhaps a favorite twist or memorable plot point in the same vein? I believe Sheik is Zelda, Sephiroth kills Aerith, and the "Would you kindly" twist from BioShock could be in this club. Most famous was probably your princess is in another castle. Well, I thought one that came to mind right away was Sephiroth. Obviously, that was a huge one.
Yeah, that was big. Didn't see that coming.
See what coming?
Never mind. Video game spoilers that really. Well, the one that still sticks out in my mind is oh, this is terrible. It's the Sea of Stars developer, Sabotage Studio, the Ninja Gaiden game they made.
Shadow.
The Messenger.
The Messenger, yes. The Messenger's twist, which I won't spoil if you've already forgotten what I said, blew me away. Never expected that to happen. About, I guess it's halfway through the game pretty much. Would have never seen that coming. Blew my mind. I was like, what's this game doing? And then it did the thing, and I was like, oh my God, this is like a whole new game now. So that was really cool. That was a really cool thing to experience.
But so that wasn't spoiled for you.
No.
We're talking about spoilers, right? Or twists?
Both. It says perhaps a favorite twist or memorable plot point or video game spoilers. Yeah. So I am not spoiling it again in case people don't know, because maybe it'll be a motivation to go play. Well, there you go.
Something like I mean, it's not really, but Symphony of the Night, when you get to the second castle,
I think that counts. That's
like
a twist.
that was like really cool.
Putting on the goggles to see the thing above what's his face's head. Yeah, that's
And I think it was crazy. It was especially crazy because, I mean, you could beat the game right there, which we all probably did. But when you figure out like the secret, it's not just like, oh, there's another section of the game. It's like there's an entire another castle.
That's like what the Messenger is. They're very similar. Yeah, I remember when I read about that in a video game magazine, and I had borrowed the game from somebody. I was like, there's a whole nother game that I never played in Castlevania. What the hell? And I had to borrow it again, and my mind was blown. I was like, I got like another 8 hours with this game. This is great. So,
what about this? Is not really. This is more of like a game, like just a silly game thing. But in Metal Gear Solid, when you're fighting Psycho Mantis, and you have to like
definitely
you have to unplug your controller and plug it into the second controller slot to beat him.
That counts too. That's a great one.
Unbelievable.
And he's reading your mind by reading your memory card. Eventually, he'll say enough things where you figure out what you're supposed to do if you're really hurting. Yeah. And we didn't really know the ways of Kojima back then, so you wouldn't think to do that at all at first. But now we know the way he operates. But yes, that's a great example. 100% counts. Undertale blew me away at the end when I found out that, I mean, this isn't spoiler because it doesn't tell you what happens again, but the game is watching everything you do. Like every decision you make is important and completely changes things. And the game watches you when you play it again to see what you're trying to do to try and do things differently the second time through and calls you out on it. Like that was crazy. Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, don't talk about it.
Not what you expect by any means. And you play probably like a fourth of the game before Shovel hits the fan. So that one is a big twist, big shocker.
The dogs jumping through the window in the original Resident Evil.
That's a
small one.
Not a twist or not a plot point, not a spoiler, but it is a shocking moment.
That doesn't count as a twist or spoiler. Let's see.
Like Eco or Shadow of the Colossus was a huge twist. Did you say that already? I'm sorry.
No, I would like to know what the twist is.
Shadow of the Colossus?
Come on, man.
Are you kidding me? When you're in the middle of doing everything and then you find out like what you're actually doing?
Oh,
sorry. What is that? What is that classified as?
No, you're right. I was there. I can't say anything. I don't want to say anything because you're going to jump on me
No,
for it.
go for it.
I
You knew it was happening
from the
very
beginning. I figured that was the case.
Great. Okay.
I didn't want to say it.
I'm
yes.
only, I played it with you watching me, and you were like, you were just as like,
twirling his mustache even then.
no, he was like excited for me to get to that point because it's like a big reveal.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just that dense that I didn't follow it from the
This
beginning.
is why I didn't want to say
but-
anything.
No, I thought that it was a big reveal for you too. That's why I played it. Same thing with Ori. There's a moment in that where you're like, well, AITA?
The Ori one, I agree with you.
That
on,
one,
yes.
I put the controller down and I teared up and I was just like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yep,
stop
yep,
for a
yep.
second, and then I picked it back up and the game froze and I couldn't finish it.
Oh.
Yikes.
Any others? We came up with way more than I thought we would. I was nervous because I couldn't.
There's
think
a
of any right
ton
off the
more
top.
that I'm not even thinking of either.
I mean, I'm surprised I even thought of Shadow Colossus, but I was wrong with that.
See, I can't be honest because I knew you were
Kidding.
going to jump
I
on me
don't
for it.
care. Whatever. Good for. I'm happy for you. I mean, I'm
Um,
sorry for you.
You don't sound happy.
No, I do feel bad for you that you just didn't. Nothing shocks you.
Plenty of things shocked me. That was one that I figured out early on.
Wesker being a bad guy. That was a shocker. Not at all.
Man, I was thinking and I thought I had one for a second, but it flew out my brain. You know what? I'm going to do a quick search for like biggest surprise moments in games. Yep. Aerith dies. Every Mortal Kombat fatality. No.
Mm.
Fighting Psycho Mantis.
Wow, that's up there.
Yes. Metroid. That is a great one. When you played
Oh,
the
yeah.
first Metroid, you didn't know that Metroid was a woman, as the meme says.
That's true.
Would you kindly, as we said, just Final Fantasy VII in general is shown. 10 most shocking moments of video game history. We'll read that one and then we'll go on. This is, I'll give them their credit. This is thegamer.com. Scarecrow's mind games in Batman Arkham Asylum. I mean, that's Scarecrow's thing.
Those were cool, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not.
Eternal Darkness, that's got to be one. Plenty of surprises in that game.
Yeah, that's true. If you let your sanity meter get run out,
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
because it would like go back to the.
Yeah.
It would like say your game was deleted
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Or you'd
Wheatley's
walk into a room and just like slow, like with every
Go
step
into the
sink
floor,
into
yeah.
the floor, and you're like, what the heck? is this
Wheatley's
for?
betrayal in Portal 2. I mean, I don't think that's
Great
crazy.
Gamer just said that.
spoiler. Well, I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't think I was that shocked.
Do this one's for you. John Marston's Last Stand in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I don't know.
Red Hat Redemption. So sorry.
I guess. Yeah, I guess that's. I don't know. I guess it's kind of shocking. He's such a tragic hero. I feel like you knew something was
Yeah.
bad was going to happen to him.
None of us here played Spec Ops: The Line. It says White Phosphorus, Spec Ops: The Line. Don't even know what any
Yeah,
of that
don't
means.
know.
Backseat Studios says finding out Link is a boy.
That's right. Dead Space, Nicola's dead. I mean, I remember that, but I don't remember.
I think I saw that kind of coming
Yeah.
myself, but
Shepard's demise in Mass Effect 2. They didn't do anything for me. And as far as shocking moments go.
yeah, because he was there anyway.
Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, The Nuke. I don't know. Number 3, Fighting Psycho Mantis. Number 2, Aerith's death. What's going to be number 1? BioShock. Would you
kindly?
All right, we've covered all the ground then, so we
what's
did
that?
pretty good.
When you find out that Andrew Ryan
Oh,
is he's like what, your father, like your biological father,
Oh, wait.
and like
this is BioShock 1?
yeah, the first BioShock.
Vernon Cheese
And he,
says, hi,
like,
Vernon Cheese, by the way.
He used the phrase "would you kindly" to like brainwash you to do everything that he
Oh.
wanted to do, and Frank Fontaine found that out, who became Atlas, who was supposed to be Atlas the hero, but he was really Frank Fontaine, this like sinister businessman who was trying to take over. And then he's the one who found out the "Would you kindly." So then when you go back, he's the one who's guiding you through the game, and every time he asks you to do something, he says "Would you kindly," and then when you think about that phrase, it's like, were these actions my own, or was I being brainwashed?
Burn, she says, I'll always remember the end of the prologue of Assassin's Creed 3 when it's revealed that you've been playing as a Templar and a character in the Animus says, what the F? At the same time, I said the exact same thing.
That was actually a kind of
There you
good
go.
twist, and
Man, I
I
don't-
remember that as well. All these years later,
I don't pay
Drake's got a good
attention
one.
to games when I play
Drake
them,
says,
or movies or books.
Wind Waker and the King of Red Lions reveal. That was great. That is a good one.
That's
That
not
is a good
bad.
one. And he says, oh, and a Twilight Princess reveal. I mean, I do agree with that. I'm getting goosebumps. This is funny because you guys know I cry at everything, and I was thinking the other day about all the things that make me cry in a good way. And I was thinking of, for whatever reason, I was like, if I had to make a list of things that people could show me that I would cry no matter what, and I wouldn't be able to stop myself, one of them was Twilight Princess, and it's just the title screen. That title screen to me is so beautiful, where Link's riding on the horse,
across the bridge,
and
right?
like he's on the ridge, the mountain, whatever, and then like he rides off screen, and the camera pans around. I'm gonna cry talking about it, and it's Link disappears, and then the camera pans, and it's Wolf Link, and he's like looking up at the big wall of like Xanth's wall, and he howls at. Oh my god, it's so good! It's so good. I cried when I was playing it at the Nintendo event. It was my first Nintendo event, and I sat down to play it. I'll never forget it next to Matt Casamassina, who I knew. And he's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, this is just a really good beginning." It's so good. And it still
And then-
does it to me every single time.
And then Reggie walked in and said, "Nerd alert!"
I know, he walked in, he was like, "Where's the breakfast?" And then he ate all his food, as I said.
Um, or
That moment makes me cry too. Every time Reggie stole my breakfast.
thinking of the food that you didn't get to eat.
so like the fact that I mean, I pick up on like the main story points, but not like the subtle, like this is what's really going on stuff. I don't think I ever picked up on the Max Payne situation either.
What's the Max Payne
Yeah, what's
situation?
That like, well, the actual story, it's not even really a twist, right? It's just that like he was the one that like he killed his family or something. Like he was
I
an
don't-
addict or something.
He was an addict.
Oh, wow, I don't remember
And like
that.
he actually like killed his wife and child or something like that.
I don't
and, like,
remember if it.
Awful.
I don't. It's been so long since I played it. I don't remember if it's as cut and dry as he did it. Definitely, but I believe that's what it alludes to very strongly.
Right, and
Or
I think
it
I
does at
completely
some point.
missed all
say it
that.
flat
Like
out.
I'm just like so on the surface.
Yeah, there's one of the levels where you're running around in a subway where he started saying something, and I was like, there's something about like the drugs and addiction and something about his family, and I was like, oh, something fishy's going on here. You know what's really good that neither of you have ever played, and you're probably never gonna, and it doesn't matter, it's fine. The GBA version of Max Payne was really good. I honestly kind of prefer that to the original version. They did such a good job with that, and that was man, I forget what developer, but they did an awesome job with it. Because when it was announced, I was like, how the hell is this going to work on GBA?
Interesting.
Really good with bullet time and everything. It was awesome. It's like an isometric version in real time. That's one of the Game Boy Advance games I never got rid of. I still own it. Thanks for the question, PT. That was an awesome question.
A lot of fun.
We also have a Patreon, Mom Brain. Do you know you could join the Patreon?
Oh wait,
For
can
$1.
I'm sorry to go back, but
Spoiler alert.
twists and stuff like that. I feel like I'm very jaded now. Whenever I like experience media, I spend the whole time expecting different twists from different things, and if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But then it does happen. It's like, well, I expected that. Like I didn't like. I'm just expecting everybody to be the murderer. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
funny you say that because last night I watched The Watchers while on the treadmill, which is what? It's Shyamalan's daughter wrote it.
yeah, I think so. or
It's what you
directed it.
expect from a Shyamalan movie. You don't hate it. You don't love it. It's very
Wasn't
middle
great.
of the road. I would lean more towards disappointing than good, but
Me too.
it's not like this is horrendous. This is the worst I've ever seen. You're just like, here's what I feel about Shyamalan movies. Most of them, I'm like, man, there's a kernel of a really cool idea in here. I wish somebody else made.
Like the last thing that I really enjoyed that he had done was Stuart Little. No,
A long time ago.
The Sixth Sense. Like I watched Signs after that, and I was
Unbreakable.
no, I did like Unbreakable. Yeah.
What about Split?
I didn't love
thought
Split.
was real. I think
But
Split is his best one since Unbreakable.
Yeah. No, so that I kind of forget that he did Split, I think. But all of his other, like I never all right. Full disclosure, I never watched any of his other things except for Split and Glass.
Did you see The Happening?
No.
Don't.
I didn't see The Happening. I didn't watch The Village.
Have you seen The Visit?
No.
I like
Although
The
I'm
Visit.
tempted to watch it just because I've
The
seen
Visit's
a couple
fun.
of things.
The Visit's fun. It's
not
not an
bad.
amazing movie, but it's fun.
But like Signs just ruined it for me.
his TV show was good. The first season of that show.
Servant.
No, something else. Somebody wrote a book and they turned it into a show. He did the show.
Okay.
It's kind of like Twin Peaks. You read the book?
Oh,
No.
Wayward Pines.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did that.
Oh.
Yes, he did that.
So like I don't know. But I feel like after The Sixth Sense and
He should have done the seventh.
movies had probably been doing twists for a very long time. But after The Sixth Sense, there was a huge surge of like, oh, you're watching something and then whoa, big switcheroo. And then
Mhm.
like, so that kind of ruined media in a way for me because like I always expect some twist to happen in some way. And I appreciate it.
Train yourself.
I mean, I do appreciate it when they kind of lead you in the direction and then switch it up or whatever. Even like seasons 2 and 3 of Only Murders in the Building, they kind of like take you by the hand and lead you in the wrong direction on purpose. So like you expected and but like I don't know.
we can.
It alters my perception on things, I guess. But anyway, have a good night.
Knock on wood has a Patreon question, and they say, "What gear do you use for the podcast? Computers, camera, microphones, mounts, anything? Dream gear you don't have? Yeah, my dream gear is all new, good stuff. Like I don't have anything I can tell you. Like I don't know the technological names of anything. I don't know what. Like I can't be like I want a DR27 audio board with XLR mount cable brackets. Like I don't know any of that stuff. I would just be like, if I had all the money in the world, I'd be like, what's the best for what I'm doing? I would ask a
4D,
professional.
3D.
Tell you the truth, I'd probably ask Nicky Hill, and he'd be like, I don't want to tell you.
I don't know anything about audio equipment.
And I don't want to tell you.
So what do we
If I
have?
did, I wouldn't want to tell you.
What are these? Oh, I have Amazon Basics XLR cords and the microphone. I don't know what microphone we have, but I found somebody on YouTube who was comparing microphones, and he was like, "These are the best microphones you can get that don't come anywhere near breaking the bank." And he had an audio test and whatever. And I was like, "That's good enough for what I need." And they were like at the time $22 a pop for a microphone, which is not bad at all. And then can you see what this is, Nicky Hill?
What?
The
Xenix
soundboard.
Q1202 USB.
There you go.
Or Behringer is the
Behringer
brand.
is the company.
Tom
yes.
Behringer.
Tom Behringer, yes. And the camera we're using is just a Logitech 1080p webcam. So that's it's a dog and pony show over here.
The camera's actually a Bergeron. Yeah.
I always have a terrible
Emmy
time
award
spending
winning.
money on things because I hate spending money, whether it's something I absolutely need or want. If it's something I want, I almost never ever get it. And if I do get it, I labor over it forever, and then I always feel bad about it for the rest of my life. If it's something I need, usually mom brain will convince me, and I'll still feel bad about it. So I'm very stingy when it comes to that stuff. But that's what we got going here.
But you don't feel that way with like video games, or if you buy yourself an anime or something. It's
Anime I don't buy anymore at all unless it's like really important to me. Then I will like Fooly Cooly or something. Then I'll be like, this has formed part of who I am. I want this.
But you don't beat yourself up when you buy video games. Maybe certain
I'm
ones that you're
very
thinking
picky
of.
about what I will buy, but I don't feel bad about it because it's part of my job. It's always been part. Like at this point in my life, it's not like, oh, I might not like video games anymore. Like I definitely like video games. So, but I don't go crazy buying games, and I'm very lucky through GoNintendo to get games from developers and publishers for review or coverage in some way. So that's great and helpful. But like Xbox and PlayStation games, I bought Dungeons of Hinterberg because I like supporting the developers. I feel good about that. But I'm not buying games like a lot, really. Before Dungeons of Hinterberg, What did I buy? It was on PlayStation 5. I don't remember, but yeah, it's maybe like
Remember.
every few months I'll buy myself a game. That's that. Yeah, like I had something good that happened and I was proud of it. Mom Brain's like, you should treat yourself, and a whole bunch of people were like, you should treat yourself, and I was like, I really wanted to get a new TV for downstairs, and I took like 3 months, and I finally decided to get the TV. And I wouldn't buy it flat out because I felt bad spending the money. So I did it on a credit card. I opened up a credit card with Best Buy and bought it through there. So I was paying like $48 a month. And I got the TV and I was like, I shouldn't have got this TV. I don't need this. This is stupid. And I paid it off. And I was like, I should have never spent that money. I like the TV a lot, but I just now every time when I sit down at the TV, I'm like, this thing, here it is. They need to buy this. It's just how I am with all that stuff. Everything really. Unless it's food. Then I don't feel bad at all. Food, I'm very excited about. We're going to Costco tomorrow, and it's like all I can think about. I'm like so excited to go and watch people on TikTok talk about all the new Costco stuff. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Except I can't buy those damn things again.
We actually need a good amount of things from
It's time.
yeah.
We're
It is
Costco
time.
guys.
Oh, I meant to say that earlier. Why? Oh, because it was a double Nintendo Direct. I was going to say
Double
like that.
chocolate.
Double chunk Nintendo Direct. We're Costco guys. All right, let's do music.
Okay.
Send your music to GoNinPodcast@gmail.com. The brain fart.
Where?
GoNinPod@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo video games. Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus. Please put music in the title to help out your local mom brain.
I got music.
Falling apart.
You
What's up?
wanna
Oh, dude.
hear it? You want to hear it? Oh. Hello, Mars Borrow.
Before I start with music, we do have one bad video game description
Yay.
submission from our friend Callus. Howdy once again. Callus here to bring you more bad game descriptions. Keep up the fantastic work. Question 1. There are 3 altogether. Manual laborer gets arrested while on vacation, forced to community service.
Oh, this is Super Mario Sunshine.
It is.
Oh,
done.
wow.
Question 2. Rodent makes it a point to finish fast.
May the rats eat your eyes.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
That's correct. Question number 3. Robot makes you endlessly jump through hoops until death.
Portal?
That's correct.
Oh, very good.
Well done, everyone. P.S. Never got a chance to say that both my friend and I finished 1000 Times Resist, and we were both blown away by the whole experience and spurred many interesting conversations between us. I'm currently trying to get another friend to play it and may end up buying it a 3rd time
Hell
for him.
yeah. I promise you, if I hear that that's getting a physical release, I will let you guys know. I continue to hound the developer to be like, it's a physical option. Is there? And there's nothing in the works right now, sadly. But
You would think
Man, I'm
like
hopeful.
limited run or something like that. would be
at
the
some
way to go,
point,
right?
I'm sure. And even if they don't, there are other boutique retailers who would. I'm sure someone will scoop it up. Smaller
Are-
games have gotten physical releases. So.
Our
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's be the ones. How do we do that?
Fund it. Don't say that because then I'll want to do it.
How do we make these?
Yeah,
games?
this could be your first publishing.
We could do a small batch,
Venture.
I'm sure, like a 5,000 copy or something like that.
That's small.
How about 5,000 times? It's, I mean, that's
5,000
5,000
times
more than we expected to make by the title alone.
What, like 500 copies you're gonna go for?
That sounds like a lot too. I don't know how to make them.
I got people I can talk to. We're gonna make you make them though. You're doing it.
And you're going to taste test every one of them.
Yep. Switch cartridge needs to be appropriately sour.
I mean, I know nothing about
Bitter.
the game, so I don't know how to put together the
How
you
hard
know,
could it
the
be?
packaging.
How
but-
hard could it be?
Oh,
All right,
but
let's do
but what?
music.
There has to be hair in the package. Is that hair to hair? Is that
Hair
what
down
they-
Hair to
there.
hair. That's right. Hair to hair. I thought it was because I'd be like closing the boxes and my hair.
You
Is
would
could
that-
take
change
I
off.
the
think I've talked about
cartridge
that.
from
Is that
red
like-
to blue.
Is that like the Requiem for a Dream thing? Hair to hair and
Ass to ass.
Back and forth.
Mouth to mouth.
Okay, first ditty for the week comes from
Oh,
Guy
I gotta get outta
Bones.
here.
P. Diddy?
Oh, it's Wario.
Mhm.
I don't know. Is it Wario Land Shake It?
Mm-mm.
Is that Charles Martinet?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
All right. Well, okay. What do we got? Wario Land
No,
or WarioWare?
no.
No and no. What other Wario game? Wario World?
That's correct.
On
Wario
the-
World on
on
the
the
GameCube
GameCube.
Mario.
from Guy Bones.
Wario.
Made. Oh my God! It was right there all those years, and we never said it.
Here's
Super
one
Wario Sunshine. That was
from-
amazing.
Joe Shabadoo. Oh, hold on. It looks like it was okay.
Can you go up higher, please?
No, I can't. It's as loud as it gets.
Tears of the Kingdom.
It is.
Once I heard that little dingle.
Here's the dingle, folks. Can't get by him with the dingle.
Hit me with that dingle.
All right. So that was from Tears of the Kingdom from Joe Shabadoo.
Very
This
subtle.
one comes from Matthew Brown.
Oh, this is familiar. Is this that noise in Super Nintendo or GBA?
Super Nintendo.
Okay. Let's guess Plock.
It is. It is Plock.
Heard the dingle.
Plock, 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 plock.
This
Yeah.
one comes from Jet Jaguar.
Focus all attacks.
Is this Vampire Survivors?
No.
Is it? It's not Castlevania.
Nope.
Bloodlines?
No.
Or Bloodstains?
I don't know. I got nothing on this
I don't
one.
know.
You got anything? We don't know.
Rhythm Thief on the 3DS from Jet Jaguar.
I did play that.
Dang you, thief.
This one comes from Jess I.
It feels familiar.
Donkey Kong.
What system?
Switch.
Is it a Turok?
No.
Hmm.
Is it a Steam World?
No.
Do I know it?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't even know. Shadow Man.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Biggie Hill?
I do not know.
We don't know.
It is Haiku the Robot.
Another one I haven't gotten around to playing, and I
On the
want
Switch.
to. So many games in general, so many Metroidvanias I want to play.
This is a one from Nico Darunia that I think you'll get.
Well, it's NES. Is it
It is.
Metroid?
No.
Kid Icarus?
No.
It's first party.
I don't know.
Oh. Star Tropics.
Yes.
That's why you said you don't know. And yes, Star Tropics is first party.
Well, it was Star Tropics from Nico Darunia. This one comes from Storbus Corbin.
I don't know, but it reminds me of like an Adventure Island or something.
Is it Hudson?
No.
Okay. Is it Capcom?
Yes.
Legendary Wings.
No.
What is it licensed?
No.
Okay. Capcom, not licensed. It's not a Mega Man.
No.
Strider.
No.
A 1942.
No.
1943.
No.
Sounds. Is it military related?
I don't know.
Oh. Capcom. Why can't we get this?
sounds like in credits or something.
I would agree with that.
I believe it's the intro.
It's like the
So
opening
credits. So credits. What else did Capcom do? Street Fighter 20, whatever.
No.
How are we blanking on
Capcom versus
Capcom?
Marvel.
The thing that it's not licensed, that's throwing me.
I mean, maybe it is, and I just don't know it.
Oh boy. Well, look it up. Demon's Crest. No. Capcom. What did Capcom do? Bionic Commando.
No.
It's not Bionic Commando.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's just a game.
Capcom NES. This is embarrassing.
Super Mario Brothers. Now it's less embarrassing.
I am gonna give up. I don't know.
I'm gonna give up.
It was Section Z
I would have never ever got it. Don't even remember Section
from
Z
Star
as
Wars
a name.
Forum. This
You got
one's
us.
from No Blades, No Bows.
Come on, this is some.
I want to say
Oh.
Codename Viper.
No.
but
No,
it's
it's,
probably Rolling
Golgo
Thunder.
13. Dirty
No, it's one of
Harry.
those point-click games I like. But it's not.
Leisure
It's
Solar.
not the dungeon one. It's the
We just have this last
Deja Vu.
It is Deja Vu. We may have.
I own Deja Vu.
No, we had something similar, I think, last week. It was very.
Oh, it's from No Blades, No Bows.
That's crazy. Because
Jazzy.
these weren't submitted recently, right? This is like a backlog. Because the AVGN just came out this past week with a new
With Deja
episode,
Vu?
and it's Deja
Really?
Vu. Yeah.
I love that game.
Here's something very strange that I didn't realize. I'm gonna play this next one from Mikey3319.
Deja Vu.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I didn't
Oh, I
realize
would've got
it,
there.
and it's titled Deja Vu. Like we've been here before, and it was
Wow.
two different like cover arts for the game.
Wow.
So I apologize, but it's too funny to not do.
Hey, we got there. guys.
Deja Vu. Okay, the last one for the week comes from Tony De La Mancha.
Oh, come on. Technically, it's Smash Brothers.
That's right. Brawl.
Bo-doo-doo-doo. But it's Donkey Kong Country 2. It's Sticker Brush Symphony.
Right.
People say Aquatic Ambience is his best song.
Great
I
job.
say Sticker Brush Symphony is his best song. Really like it.
Oh, cancel them,
Like it.
people. Cancel them.
Cancel me if you have to. Cancel me if you have to. But 7 out of 10. 6 out of 9. I'll take it.
Mhm.
We did pretty good. And I can't see any reason for the show to go on. So.
I can see one reason,
Why is that?
and it's a real good one. Deux Views. It's
Oh
never
my
news.
What
God.
a lucky treat.
Rumor of the week with Dew Michaels.
Holy crap.
Ladies and
I thought it
gentlemen,
was starring.
we know very well that yes, indeed, at the end of each podcast, my spiders and my flies bring me some rumors about video games that I then disseminate
Did you make that
to
today?
everybody else.
I even got new artwork for it.
So, oh, really? I got to take a look.
Mom Brain made you something.
Holy cow. Look at that. You made that?
I mean, yes, but it
Just when
was a
you
lot
thought
easier than
we
it
covered everything. That's perfect. Man, that's so great. I love it. Thank you. So yeah, there is a new rumor this week. Actually, what's that? Spiders and flies? Okay, I'll tell them. So it's actually, we're doing something different this week. Instead of a rumor, I've got a true breaking news story for you.
God.
So I know it's very exciting. It's a break from what we usually do here on Deux Views.
This is incredible.
The podcast is called Deux Views, right? Now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm honored that we're gonna have a true murder.
So we spoke a little bit earlier about some DLCs, if you recall, and Rancho Balatro DLC has all kinds of stuff, like CD Projekt Red's The Witcher series. Well, you know what else CD Projekt Red has been trying to do?
Oh no.
They're trying to get their DLC all over the place. So, along with the new DLC stuff that we talked about in Power Wash Simulator, you'll also be able to download the Witcher DLC for Power Wash Simulator. So
Geralt
you
in the tub.
can wash
Oh
down
my
Geralt
God,
in the
that's
tub.
Amazing.
You can hose down Roach in the stable,
Wow.
and
No, just Geralt.
yeah, just Geralt
Can I
and
put
Roach.
Roach in the tub?
The DLC will allow Roach in the tub, as far as I'm concerned.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so
You
enjoy
know,
that.
If there's ever going to be DLC that would get me to get whatever the hell the name, Power Wash Simulator.
Well, how funny would it be if, like, he's in the tub and you're like literally like spraying him down
Yeah.
with the power washer?
Yeah, he'd be dead.
I mean, well, I don't know. He could take it. He would have to drink some sort of Witcher potions to survive
That's
the power
true.
wash.
Do you see that lady on TikTok who had like a leaf on her foot when she was power washing, and
Oh,
she took
yeah.
the power washer to like?
No, she didn't. Is that I saw the one where she had the hose under her leg and went to pick her foot up over the hose, thinking she had clearance from the thing because she was.
No, I
actively
saw one where a lady
spraying.
shot her foot
that's
with it.
just-
I've been close.
Insane.
Like you forget yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
that's what-
water.
She stepped over, and when she went to raise her foot, she thought she was totally clear of the jet, and sliced, like, kind of
Yeah.
squiggly sliced the back of her foot.
Thank you very much for that totally true inside information. I really appreciate it.
Sorry,
And
bro.
tell your spiders and flies I appreciate it as well.
The spiders will be getting extra flies, and the flies will be getting extra poop this week. Don't you worry.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Is that what happens? Like the fly lands on the web, and it's like, no, don't get me. I got good intel. And then so the spider's like, okay, tell me.
It's the great circle of life.
After show. You watch something? You want to say something?
Oh, well, I watched the first episode of
Oh yeah, Only Murders.
Only Murders,
As
and I
did
watched
I.
the first episode of City of God. The fight rages on.
Yeah, what's that about? Is that going to be good? Why are they doing that? I'm
I don't
skeptical.
know why they're doing it. Probably because of the money.
The money in City of God? I mean, wasn't it like
Well, there was also like the City of Men series, which I never watched the entirety.
Oh,
of.
that was. Oh
was a
man,
long
I'm
time
so
ago.
checked out on this series. I had no
I mean,
idea.
that was back when City of God first came out.
Yeah.
And now I have a hard time following with subtitles in a different language. So I'm just like, I'm missing everything. I don't know. One of my favorite movies, and I can't even like make it through an episode of a 40-minute episode.
Don't beat yourself up about that. I
That's
mean,
what I
it
did.
doesn't mean that it's just
it's
as
hard.
good.
It's just hard for me to like. No, it doesn't necessarily. I don't think it's bad. So when I first started watching it, English was the language, and I was like, this voiceover sounds weird. And then people started talking, and I was like, oh, nope, this is not.
Hmm.
Go to the Portuguese, please. But
Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
they talk so fast, and like I said, I feel like I'm missing so much somehow all the time of everything. So,
And you're watching this in your living room?
oh my god.
I was just curious. I didn't know. Why is that funny?
Yes, but guess what? I got a stand for my TV. It's in the middle of the room now.
Oh, okay. So you're closer.
Yeah, I could have just moved the couch, but I got a whole new stand.
He's a very engaged viewer.
When he plays fetch with the dog in the room, he has the dog bring him notes of what's going on in the show that he's
Oh.
watching because he's so far away.
Well, I throw her a toy, and I have to wait 15 minutes for her to get back.
Well,
to me.
yeah, so it's and with her paws,
You didn't watch Only Murders?
not yet.
What do you think?
So I started off the same way that I started off like the last season or 2 seasons, where it's just like not that it's all cut and dry, but it's like, man, they're really going in on this. And then by the end of the episode, I was like, I like what they did.
I
You're the
am
opposite.
No, I watched it. I'm like, I'm so happy the show's back.
Oh.
I just love what the show does. I love the
I like-
characters, like the main trio. I love them. I'm all about it. I'm very happy. I really
want to
enjoy
talk
it.
about a character situation, but I don't want to ruin anything. But like, I mean, you probably if you've seen a trailer or something. But basically, the fact that Martin Short is the way he is, I'm glad that that's like the double they have for
mhm,
him or whatever, because it just it lines up very well.
Yes.
I mean, all like the other ones too are great.
The show doesn't ever really make me like laugh out loud hard, but I do just enjoy it. But there were a couple things in this episode where it got a laugh out of me more than usual. I like it. It's great. I just
the very beginning, I was
that
like,
whole
I
dynamic
was a
I
little
like.
kind of not frustrated, but I was just like, man, they're really like going for it here, and it was just a little. But I'm not judging it. I'm just letting it happen. And like I said, by the end of the episode, I was like, I like how they executed that whole episode. Like,
the end of the episode,
they hinted at things, and the way they realized things was very like natural.
Mhm.
And I was like, it felt right. Like the writing just feels.
the end of the episode got me to tear up just with that song and what they showed. I was like, oh man, that was good. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's why. Because the very beginning, something is said, and I was like, oh. And
so judgmental right out the gate.
well,
man.
because it was like a smack in the face, and you're like, wow, there's no subtlety here. And then by the end
yeah.
of it, I'm
Also,
like,
we're in
I
the
was like-
fourth season of a show where people keep dying in the same damn building. Can you just let it go? Just go for the ride.
well, and you also saw at the end of the last season, like what's going on. But like they said something, and it was like, it's like kind of a throwaway thing, but you're just like, whoa, really laying it on thick. No subtlety here. But by the end of the episode, I was like,
And I
wow,
watched.
there's a lot of subtlety there.
I watched it and I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I'm
Swear to
excited.
hand to God, don't know what you're talking about.
okay.
No idea.
Okay, Mr. Attentive. Mr. I knew everything about Shadow of the
No, I
Colossus
mean I
before
watch things
even
and I'm
played
like,
the
let's go
game."
for the ride. I'm not like every sentence like, nope, don't believe it. Nope, not subtle enough. Nope, don't like this character. I let
you
the
are
episode
like
finish
that.
and then I'm like, okay, now I'll think about
But
it.
you are like that with other things, aren't you?
Go.
Dark matter. Well, people don't talk like this. People don't act like that.
Not right. What did I just say? I watched the episode and then I have my complaints. I see how things play out. And
Well, I watch an episode and then I go,
Sonny, he watched 15 minutes of it and he looked at his watch.
of the 11th
I-
episode,
I watch a whole episode of
Yes.
something and then I go, well, that was something. I don't remember what happened at all in it. And it was just, I just finished 5 minutes ago.
Blood Ocean. I finished Cape Crusader. Do finish Cape Crusader. Nicky Hill did not, as far as I know.
I did not. I
liked it.
Do and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I just
watched
can't
the
get over
third-
this
I
giant
watched-
Batman in the city. I don't believe it.
I watched the third episode, and I honestly had to
That's
take a
me.
second to remind myself what the third episode was. The Catwoman episode.
Cat Lady.
Cat
Batman's
Lady, yeah.
famous foil Cat Lady.
Cat Lady, Birdman,
Mm-hmm.
and
Catwoman, though,
and
that's,
Circus Freak.
that's like a different take on Catwoman, huh?
The show is a different take on pretty much everybody.
But it was. I don't. How did you feel about that take?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah. What's there? I'll bite what?
It's just a character that doesn't have any honed skills, but is somehow like really great at what she's doing. She's just like, oh, hard up for cash. Let me do this.
She's a cat burglar.
But she goes from 0 to 60
She's
overnight.
the Mary Sue of cat burglars.
I mean, we see her. I don't know. Do we see her at 0? Don't we see her at 60?
No, she's just like, I ain't got no money. And then she's like, well, if I want to keep living my lifestyle, and then boom, she's going for it.
I don't know.
successful.
I got, maybe I was misunderstanding, but I got the feeling that it wasn't her first rodeo.
I thought so too.
I thought
wasn't
this was
saying
like her
anything 'cause I
thing.
thought I missed something. Yeah.
It's her first rodeo in costume because she makes the costume in the episode. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me.
You know what I don't like? She steals that person's cat. That's what I don't like. She just took the cat. Take jewels, take all that stuff, but you take somebody's cat out of their
Didn't
house?
she basically say, I'll give you a better life.
Yeah, she did say that. I still think it's wrong. Stealing the money's wrong. But a pet, that's cold-hearted.
Yeah.
That's very funny. Rich,
She's a
who's a
very
joking
great
man
character.
instead of the Joker.
The joking man.
Catwoman or cat lady and the joking man.
No, I think it's Emio the smiling man.
Yes. Yeah, I really liked it, and they already got some scripts for season 2, so we're getting season 2. That's great.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I hate to compare. I thought X-Men 97 was better
Yeah.
overall. But I
they're
thought
both great.
I thought this was really well done.
Yeah, between the two, I go with X-Men as well, but I wouldn't skip Batman. I really, really enjoyed it. I also watched Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh, what'd you think of that?
I
You
thought
didn't- I thought you watched it.
no, I was waiting for it to be on something streaming. It's on
It was on Hulu. a while
Hulu.
ago,
Yeah. I liked it. It was very good.
I thought it was good too.
I know it got a boatload of praise. I'm not saying it's not worthy of praise, but I'm not at where the praise is at. Like I really liked it. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very well acted. I liked the way it was shot, but I wasn't like blown away by it. If people brought up the movie, I'd be like, "Oh, you should watch it," but I wouldn't go out of my way to be like, "You gotta see this movie."
Yeah. That's another situation where I didn't appreciate it until I watched other people's takes, kind of like the breakdowns or whatever, because I'm missing things. I'm just like,
Well, my cousin watched it and he was mad because, spoiler alert, you don't get a definitive answer at the end. And I was like, I feel like from the beginning you're kind of getting the vibe of they're not gonna like wrap this up in a neat little package or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like I was like left out in the cold maybe a little bit, but I wasn't angry at that because
Just like the dead body.
whatever. And I understand like what they're doing kind of, but I don't really fully grasp it until I hear somebody else say it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what they're doing.
I thought it was well done because normally I'm upset when they don't tell you exactly what the deal is. This one left it up to interpretation, but there was something about it where I liked my interpretation that I came to, which I usually don't. I'm usually very like in my own head about things like you, Nicky. So I watched this and
What do you
I
mean I'm
liked
in
my
my head?
interpretation of
Gotta
what
think
I
about
thought
this.
it was, and I ended up really liking the movie when it was finished.
Do you think the kid was telling the truth, or do you think he was lying about about the dad's story?
That's a great question. I'm gonna need you to refresh my memory.
talk afterwards. the whole thing
we'll talk afterwards. You don't have to.
Okay,
lay it
Nicky
all
Hall
out.
has decided we will talk
Well,
afterwards.
I don't know. Is that kind of spoilery?
Yeah, let's not spoil the movie for
I
anyone.
was gonna try and do it without spoilers, but perhaps you are right. I will save it for after. Joker 2, I'll go see it. I'm not really all that. I didn't want them to do a sequel.
You're gonna go
I-
see it?
Yeah, I'll go see it. But yeah, I'd rather, as of where I am now, knowing what I know from the trailer, I would rather they didn't do a sequel. I just didn't want them to do a sequel in general. We'll see how I feel after I've seen the movie. But yeah, I'm not like, oh boy, like the first one, I was like, I can't wait to see this movie. This one, I'm like, I'll go see it. The first one got enough goodwill from me that I'll go see this one. So
I just worry about Joaquin Phoenix. Like he loses all that weight and everything, and then he goes and he gains a bunch of weight back for like
Oh man, let me tell you.
what's that
Do
movie?
not watch Napoleon.
Well, what's that about?
The Beau is
I
Afraid.
was afraid, yeah.
Beau is Afraid you could watch. It was a little disappointing, but I watched Napoleon the director's cut. Holy crap.
wow, and that's got like an extra 40 minutes.
Oh
in
my
it.
god, it was 3.5 hours long. It took me 2 days to finish this.
Mm.
It wasn't worth it. I don't know.
Well-
I really don't know what the heck they were trying to do with it, to be honest.
Wait,
I'm
how long was it?
about 3.5 hours. I'm a big fan of history, and I kind of boned up a little bit on Napoleon history for this too. And
Napoleon
filmmaker did
boner
not.
part.
I almost wish I didn't, because it was kind of frustrating, like how what the directions that they were taking with it tonally. But whatever, they can do
Well,
what they want.
And then Beau is Afraid is very long too. That's a hard watch, not for everybody.
That
Definitely.
one, there were parts of it that I thought were absolutely brilliant, and then there were parts where I just felt like it dragged.
Mhm.
So
I really love that very beginning.
about the first
The guy-
first act is great.
yeah.
The money. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games. Rest, relax. Hang out with friends and family. You deserve it, and we will see you next week, everybody.
Stay safe out there, and rabbit, if you're listening today on August 31st.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And we